everybody. Deadman Walking 55 coming to you from the East Coast of the USA at 2 minutes after 8. Yes, I do not know what the heck I'm doing tonight. I really don't. After my extended breaks, I routinely have big brain farts when it comes to hitting the streaming world. But hey, it was a mess backstage. Nearly destroyed a link somewhere. And I actually had to ask Daisy, "What the heck do I do, Daisy?" And she's like, "I don't know. I'm just here for the beer." But hey. But speaking of that, the great co-host of this wonderful monthly show that has been going, I do not know how long, but it is a highlight of my month. What getting a chance to talk to the one, the only, the Princess of England herself. Although we could say she's the Queen of England, the great Daisy Blossom Flower Child. Hello.
Hey, definitely not the Queen. That England has a king.
For how long?
I have one question. I'm
Yes, ma'am.
trying to look at Twitch and I can't see the stream. Is it just me?
It takes a second sometimes. It takes a second. Or just refresh your Twitch. Yeah, sometimes you have to refresh Twitch.
Let me try to refresh my Twitch.
There you go. Yeah, it's there now.
There we go.
All right. So,
what the
see,
heck is
we're just having fun all technologically bombing right now, too. So, hey.
Yeah, I know. My technology's gone out the window at this point. There we
go.
Well,
hey. Well, you could say that about the Earthlings in our movie tonight.
Oh, God. The Earthlings.
I do not.
And we didn't have one set of aliens. We got to have two.
It's all
the giant ball orb.
Oh, yeah.
Break.
Oh, man. You're starting to. Oh, wow. Folks, I do not know how long. Well, you're starting to spoil already, but
sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know.
I'm
this is going to be one of these really crazy disorganized streams tonight because I don't know how long we'll go, Daisy, but we will go as long as we can. So, folks, I want to hear your opinions on this movie as we go through. At the end of it, at the end, we will grade both the Independence Day original and IDR, and come at the end. But we're going to go through a synopsis. Daisy, I don't know that I can do my normal synopsis the way it is. I'm probably just going to read off of Wikipedia tonight.
This one. Yeah, IMDb, one of the two. Good luck.
I'm like, this is.
I'm going to have to mute my mic so I don't just hysterically laugh in the background.
No, we love your laughter.
Oh my God.
The best laugh on YouTube. Next to the missus.
Buddy says that he watched it this afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mindless. Well, we'll get to that, buddy. Well, hello, buddy. Well, let's go ahead and say hello, everybody in the chat. So, of course, first we got the man himself, the bear of Pinellas County, the great Snortopoopas Cuber. Hello, humans and other critters. So, hello to you, Snortopoopas.
Hello.
All right. Oh, and he still calls you Putty Tat. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the great
And I wave back. Yep.
Cats and bears living together. Mass hysteria. So, and howdy do you, Buddy Hepburn. Good to see you as always. Daisy is on the Twitch side. And the missus comes in and on the Twitch side and says hello. And on the YouTube side. So, folks, make sure you follow us on Twitch. Hit that like, subscribe here on the YouTube side. Share out the stream. I really would like to get people's thoughts tonight about this because I think this is going to be one of those that I think people are really going to like or they're really going to hate. I think and it's going to go heavy one way or the other. I don't think there's going to be middle ground much with it. Oh, Buddy does warn me, just don't call her the Queen Mum. Mum.
True.
I tell you, that's an awesome laugh. We need to trademark that. And the missus. Did you get to hear the missus today on the morning show or just the build?
Just the build.
Well, the missus was doing mouse-related memes today, and I thought she was. I don't know, word just hearing her laughing up a storm with the mouse memes. She was just entertaining herself. I know, I do.
Okay, but we've already agreed. I'm the Duchess. I'm Duchess Daisy Blossom.
Okay, Duchess Daisy Blossom. All right. I forget all the time. I always promote people.
You keep promoting me to levels I do not wish to be promoted to.
Well, the great ones don't ask for it; they're just called on in that moment of need.
No, I say no.
Kind of like the young heroes in our movie today. Just
Uh,
we came together 20 years ago. Anyway, we'll talk about more of that. But
oh my
my
God,
buddy
yes.
said, pretty predictable, mindless entertainment. This movie
Mm,
was actually supposed to be the start of a series, as I
correct.
understood it. But uh,
Either a trilogy of movies, which I'm unclear whether that means they'd have made one more movie and that would be the trilogy, or whether they were going to make this the first of a new trilogy, or whether they were going to do some sort of TV series. But
yeah,
yeah, it was supposed to be a bigger thing.
yeah, I think it was supposed to be a new trilogy. Well, one of the things that I read with this, um,
Yeah, I agree. The budget for this was $165 million
yeah, well, let's get into that.
in 2016.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yikes.
But it did gross nearly $400 million. So that's why I don't understand why people called it a financial disappointment. It did make money. It did better overseas than it did in the U.S.
True. I think they mean that kind of in the United States it didn't quite
Yeah,
do.
because it's America. Heck yeah,
America.
come to say it. Anyway, I know you never.
USA. USA.
I know you never saw Team America World Police.
No, I did not.
Okay, that's good.
I've seen clips, and that's enough. Thank you very much.
But it has one great theme song that if I wanted to make
Yeah,
everybody around
America.
the
Heck
world, or
yeah,
if
yeah.
I want to make people mad in New York or California that didn't think like me, pump that song up. Anyway, but all right. Well, let's see. Independence Day Resurgent is a 2016 American sci-fi action film co-written, directed, and co-produced by your great, most favorite, end of the world, crazy thing guy like the, the day after tomorrow,
Roland
Roland
Emmerich.
Emmerich. Yes. That was co-written and co-produced by Dean Devlin. It served as a sequel to Independence Day. It had an ensemble cast that consists of, uh, well, from the original, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman. We actually, Judd Hirsch in it. We actually had a quick scene of Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah, I
But
know.
also we had Liam Hemsworth in this one, Micah Monroe, who played President Whitmore's daughter, Travis Trope, William Fichtner, who I've seen in many, many roles. Really, I've always liked him. I thought he was really good in this one. Charlotte Gainsborough. Uh, so this film takes place 20 years after the events of the first film, so during which the United Nations collaborated to form the Earth Space Defense, an international military defense and research organization. So they used reverse engineering. They fused the power of the alien technology with humanity's and laid the groundwork to resist a second alien invasion. All right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, as the movie was being developed, plans for a sequel began as early as 2001. The Independence Day came out in 1996. Eventually, it was greenlit to go ahead in 2014. So we're talking about 8 years after the first film before it finally gets the go ahead. They began principal photography in April 2015, primarily in New Mexico, but also the Bonneville Salt Flats of Utah, which were featured in the original. This is one thing you remember. There's one scene where we had General Gray at the celebration, and I'm sitting like, did they do the Princess Leia thing on him or not? But apparently, Robert Loggia was in it. It was one of his final projects before he died,
Yeah,
and
it
it was
was like his
dedicated.
final one. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. He was commemorated during the closing credits. Uh,
Mhm.
I liked how they did a little shout out to him though. There, that was a good taste.
Yeah,
What did you
because
think with that?
it would be easy to have an actor that's that old and not doing as well, to just like not have him there and not say anything,
Right.
or say so and so is he's stationed someplace else on the planet. So it was nice to have the cameo.
Yes, because that comes to a bigger missing person in this whole movie.
Oh
With
God,
with
yes.
that, yes, you can't miss that. Buddy says the subplot was Star Trek 2009. Was that the J.J. Abrams one that started
Hmm.
the downward spiral with the drilling to
Hmm.
destroy the planet and the mom getting blanked similarly? Wow.
Mm,
Yeah,
I know. It
I
was
know.
like I have I have I have notes. I have
Oh,
notes.
all right, folks. Daisy's got her
I have
notes.
I have feelings.
Yeah, Daisy was. You might be really passionate. We might be here 3 hours tonight because I tell you, when Daisy makes notes, and what I heard earlier, she needed colored highlighters. She
I
had
did
like
come
10, except for pink. Do
and
not
no
send
pink.
Daisy a pink. What is
No.
the deal with
Daisy,
pink? That's right. I forgot. You told me how long
so
you've
so
hated
I
pink.
told my mom, yeah, so
Yeah.
I was little, and we were on a long road trip to go for Easter to go to one of my auntie's houses. And a mom, of course, I'm a little girl, so she dresses me up and all that, and she puts pink Mary Jane shoes on me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the glossy ones. And I told her, Mama, I no like pink, Mama. And she was like, oh, you know, you're a little girl, da 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 da. Okay, so we get there,
Mm-hmm.
and my father prevented me from not making it to my next birthday, because my mom comes back and she goes, where are your shoes?
Oh
And I
boy.
pointed to the floor, so one of them was on the floor, and she goes, where's your other shoe? I pointed out the window.
Ah!
And we didn't have a ton of money, and oh my god.
Oh,
So
that reminds me.
my father
Yeah.
interjected and went, I don't try to remember, she's like 2 years old. So it was a huge thing in our family forever. I know like pink, Mama, I know like pink.
Oh well, what's funny is it reminds me of my own kids. My oldest kid did the same thing at Disney in the hotel. Just flung the shoe down, and it actually went in the monorail track.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like, and they had to wait, and somebody came by and got it and took
Yeah,
care of
we
it
have no
there.
idea. Its new home was somewhere on a freeway between where we lived and where my auntie lived.
I know, it's crazy. It is crazy to see,
Fortunately,
but
there was another pair of shoes. I'm sure they were like sandals or something in the car. I had to run
yep.
around barefoot, you know.
Oh man, that's too funny. And we got Stunning here tonight. Hey,
Hello,
Stunning.
stunning.
Good to see you. Good to see you tonight. So, but yeah, it's funny how little things happen like that and get started. But um, so the like we talked about, the budget is set 20 years later. So it was released by 20th Century Fox in the U.S. June 24th, 2016. 20 years after Independence Day in 2D, 3D, and it was also released in IMAX 3D. But it received largely negative reviews and was considered a financial disappointment, grossing $389.7 million worldwide at the box office against its $165 million budget.
I
So,
think they were hoping that people would go see it in the 3D, which would have been, that's an upscale ticket. So you tend to make more money with the box office just because the tickets are more expensive. So
take care,
when it
Snort.
didn't, oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
turns
he's
off the burst like, oh,
yeah.
good night.
Oh
Good
gosh, look at
night.
Stunning. Flung his shoe up on top of the school once playing soccer at recess. Hey, that's better. That's like the Florida Gator guy there in the middle of the game took off the LSU player's shoe and flung it 40 yards downfield. And the missus said they're supposed to wait until the end of the day, but they got them for us, the shoe. So all right, sorry, but yeah, this one seemed to. I mean, I would think, hey, you make $220 million. Okay, the future's bright with this.
Yeah, but
But
it didn't. You know, they put so much into like the advertising for these things and all of that, and how much money is taken each week by the movie theaters in the United States. They get a percentage. And then in other countries, the percentages are even more
mm-hmm.
whack.
Oh yeah,
So even though it looks on paper, you go, oh, well, it must have made money. It might not have, you know, because of all of the bits and bobs that go with it. And they did, they did do
but
ads for it and stuff.
Buddy is saying
Because,
movies have to almost make 3 times the reported budget to make even.
yeah, even in
Hmm.
2016, because they spend a ton of money and they don't get the full price for all of those tickets.
Right.
So, and I know that they did a lot of advertising because my husband and I were actually quite excited. And we
No.
weren't really on social media at the time. So, I mean, not
Hmm.
big time into it. So we didn't, hear leaks or anything like
Right.
that. We did know that one of the main actors was not in it, and that was kind of a bummer.
Hmm.
But we didn't know. We went into it all enthusiastic.
Yeah. Hey, why not? Go
Mm,
in expecting nothing, get a surprise.
and
But
get nothing.
so,
Yes, something like
so, well, somebody's excited. Simply Steve's here. He's excited. Yay, ID Part 2. So feel free, folks,
yay.
talk about this movie with us as we start getting into scenes and stuff like that. If you have comments, share it. We'll review it at the end as our grades. And B from O's here. Hey, B from O. Good to see you.
Hello.
And happy birthday again to Junior. So appreciate it. And yes, like
Yes.
Buddy said, please hit that like, subscribe button, share it out. We got 10 people here with us tonight. Woo!
Yeah, and
Thank
share it on
y'all.
Twitter.
Yeah. All right. Well, they said that the possibility of a sequel had been discussed as early as 2001,
Hmm.
and Dean Devlin was quoted as saying that the world's reaction to September 11 actually influenced him strongly to consider making a sequel to the film. So they started an outline with Emmerich. Uh, they of course they had to deal with The Day of Tomorrow, which was released in 2004. So they kind of abandoned the idea for a while, but then about in 2009, the idea came back up, and in June 24, 2011, Devlin confirmed that he and Emmerich had found an idea, considered the idea of making two sequels to form a trilogy. So that answers the question: is that it was
Okay.
be the second and third of the movies. As we hear at the end, yeah, we're gonna take it to them. It's time to kick some serious alien ass, you know. Uh, but in October 2011, discussions for Will Smith returning were halted due to Fox's refusal to provide $50 million salary demanded by Smith for the two sequels.
Hmm.
So, so
But he himself said it was because he was filming.
there was another movie, yeah.
Yeah, there was another movie. I forget. Wait. I have it somewhere in my. I can't think of the movie.
I think you said Suicide Squad earlier.
Suicide Squad. That's it. Yeah, that he was
Mm.
filming Suicide Squad. So
Yeah. So,
I think it was probably the money.
yeah, it probably was the money. Yeah, I agree because they didn't want to come off 50 million. But it's this is probably one of those movies that just really, uh, you know, you needed Will Smith. He was like the glue from the first one. I
Well,
mean,
he and uh, Levin
Goldblum.
Goldblum. He and Goldblum had such good chemistry, and that just sort of oozed into everything else that was going on. And
Hmm.
to not have him was, yeah, that was a major. Goldblum has to pull it off on his own, and then you've got 87,000 different new characters to try and remember the names of. And yeah.
Mm. Well, listen, the original titles that they came up with in March of 2013, which is about 3 years before the movie was released, Emmerich was stated the titles of the new films would be ID Forever Part 1 and ID Forever Part 2.
Well, because they called the first one ID4, which was kind of confusing because you're going, what happened to the first three Independence Days? Did I miss them?
Yes, I know.
That's not what it meant, but like when you're
No.
just looking at it, you're going, wait, what?
Nice one. Nice one there, Stunning. Yeah, I get that. Will was let down by that trade.
Mm,
But yeah. But yeah, it just really bad names, I think, for a movie if you had it.
yeah.
Uh, but even then, they talked about and I think we'll see. These are some of the rough drafts of early points that they focused on the new generation of heroes.
Hmm.
That they talked about had some talk about wormholes could be used as a plot device. Of
Yeah,
course,
something about time travel
time
they
travel.
talked about for a little bit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, but that fortunately,
Yeah.
that had taken a back seat. They'd written a couple variations of the script, one featuring Smith's character in the lead, one without him in at all, cutting him out completely. and then we
Yeah,
end up with getting the he died in a training accident, and
I
you kind of
know.
it kind of like he's still there, but it's like the elephant in the room. How can you
Oh, they put his
not
picture on the
in the
wall.
White
They had
House?
an
Yeah,
oil painting of him in the White House.
yeah, that's like a president, but
Yeah.
so
And then we had to have a woman as president because it was 2016, and
oh
all she did was get shot. Sorry.
no, it's okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to ask the follow up on that because I you went there. I'm sitting here
Well,
laughing.
she
I was
did.
like,
I'm sorry. It was,
okay,
and I get it. It's been done in other movies too. It's just not the first movie to do it, and it is an
yeah,
interesting concept. But if you're going to do that, give the poor woman some character other than kind of giving a speech for the 20th anniversary, and
yeah,
then getting a little off topic because the former president shows up,
yeah.
and then she goes into the bunker and they that's it. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, why was
yeah.
okay.
We'll
Yeah,
keep.
I'm sorry, I got off topic.
It's okay. I'm just sitting here like all I could. I was like, dang, you brought up the woman president thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't think.
I am
No,
a
it's okay.
female,
Yeah,
and I get it. I get it. I
yeah.
do. It's
Well,
not like I'm
I will say
it's
they did.
just
Did you think
uh,
they tried too hard to make her a hard ass? I mean, because she was like no peace, and she played
yeah,
tough.
yeah,
Or
I think they were like
did
a
the
strong
actress pull it off though to you or not?
they were doing that strong what they now have a lot of characters that are women, and women can be very strong without having to act like men. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we are quite capable of being assertive, not aggressive, and we can lead things and do stuff. I mean, Great Britain has had prime ministers that were female and ran the country. It can be done, but you don't have to turn. Well, first of all, she didn't have enough of a character, but you don't have to make her a guy. You can make her, you know,
Are
a
you talking about
woman
like
and
pantsuit, short haircut, like very like straight jawed, very
yeah, and like you said, well, I won't use the same word, but more trying to have her be an aggressive president. You can be an assertive one. You can state things. You can whatever. I'm sorry.
yeah. No,
I don't think it was done well. There are other movies that I have seen female presidents in, or the woman is the vice president and something happens to the president for a while. So
mhm.
I have seen different actresses pull it off quite well.
Well,
I don't think they gave her the material to pull this off.
well, you kind of it's kind of like extremes in the character now that you mention it because then she tries to be like a mama figure to Whitmore's daughter because like Buddy said, he said Pullman was good. The actress playing his daughter was annoying, and
Well,
I
yeah, and I have notes on that too.
okay, go ahead
So
if you got
okay,
them, go ahead.
well, since you brought it up, the actress who plays the daughter is different, okay, because it was a little girl, but it's been 20 years.
Mhm.
That actress who played the little girl, she is still an actress. She was in 2016.
Wow.
So why did you not just use her again? I mean, I don't know whether it's what other things she's been in or whether but why would you change out the actress
Hmm.
when this actress is still available? I would assume. It just seemed odd
Well,
to
it
me.
may be the same thing. Like I don't necessarily know they brought the stepson back from the original 20 years later, but still,
No, because that actor is actually something Usher.
right?
Jesse Jesse T. Usher. He's
Yes,
actually not a bad actor in other things. I have
right.
seen him in other things. Um, yeah, the material here was you can only do so much with the script that's given to you.
Yeah, I agree.
So
And Buddy
now
made a point
Pullman,
about the female. Buddy made in Battlestar Galactica in the reboot. They
Mm-hmm.
it was Mary McDonnell, who was actually the president's wife in Independence Day. That's
Oh,
like
she's a good actress. Oh,
she's a great
she's a good
actress,
actress.
and but like in that case, they made her strong. I mean, she actually
Yeah,
seemed like she'd be a pushover, but that
yeah.
was a good case, a good example, like Buddy mentioned in that
Good,
role of the
thank you.
actress pulling off. But she
Yeah,
was assertive, but not like what we saw here.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, did you have other notes there on that one? Were you looking for?
No, we can go through. I have notes, but we can
Okay.
go through as we go.
All right.
I keep squirreling on you. I'm so
I know you
sorry.
do. Oh, it's okay. Well, everybody knows my channel. It's like it squirrels all over the place. That's okay. Because we are a safe haven for squirrels everywhere in America. And to
Kitty cat squirrels.
you benevolent galactic overlords know that doesn't mean come pay me a visit. Um,
Yeah.
so, but Amber explained that the sequel, they worked with different names with it. They finally came with Independence Day Resurgence. They talked about Returns, Retaliation, Rises, Requiem. Were considered too long considered also, but before settling on this, and they explained that the alien invaders that in the sequel, the alien invaders were likened to original. Uh, in the original movie, they were like locusts traveling world, but in this,
Right.
they were acting more like bees, like the hive mentality, only
I
interested in
know.
multiplying. And when they arrive, it's more like a natural disaster than an invasion.
Yeah, they were changed
That was
slightly.
one thing. That's one thing I did not get with this movie, and we'll eventually get through the whole plot of it. But because we see at the beginning a distress call goes out. You know,
20 years later.
yeah, and then it makes sense. Signal has to go through space. They have to get it. They have to fly this way.
No, I
So
think
they're
it didn't start 20 years ago though. They went out to that one ship that was in somewhere in Africa,
right.
and they'd been studying it, and my now I might be wrong, chat, you can tell me. My feeling was that signal had just started because then the former president started drawing weird things and going crazy, and then Data, Dr. whatever
Mhm.
his name is, Dr.
Well,
Data woke up.
well,
So I thought that
what I
I,
heard, Goldblum said there that they noticed 20 years before, just before the mothership blew up, or right at the same time, a sudden burst.
okay, okay.
Like they sent a distress signal because it would make sense. It would take 20 years for the aliens from other galaxies to get here.
True. That's true.
So, so
Unless it went through a wormhole or something.
you, who knows? Whatever. Come for the resources. Bail to the next planet. Yes, but and that's what happened. But see, that that was the first thing that kind of got me sort of like, wait, what? Was like we got no clue or no introduction about a drilling platform. Uh,
Yeah,
20
I
years
know.
ago. And I'll go ahead and say it because, see, when they come to the realization that, oh, well, we blow the queen up and then everybody, then they'll pull all their ships back. But, well, well, when they finally destroyed the queen, like all the fighters collapsed, but suddenly the drill ship pulls up and gets recalled by. That was one thing I didn't
I
get.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
why wouldn't, if the mothership died here, this drilling ship, why would the other one get back? Or why wouldn't why wouldn't I,
Well, it's a good thing that that big ship didn't, because I had all kinds of problems with the size of that ship, because they describe it as the size of the Atlantic Ocean.
yes, yes,
If something the size of the Atlantic Ocean shows up in our orbit,
yeah,
gonna cause a few problems.
more
and
than just a
and
few
then if
burning
it
clouds.
dies, you do not want it falling out of the sky into the Atlantic Ocean.
Nope, nope, not at all. Well, let's talk about the casting again a little bit. Some more notes here. They hoped that Will Smith would return, but then they announced that he would not be returning. He's too expensive. And then Will Smith later declined, said he had scheduling conflicts with Suicide Squad, also in production at the time. which they used to talk about his death in a test flight. So
Yeah.
that's the way to cover it to move on.
That
They
was a
did,
trope. That's a trope when someone doesn't return, they die it off screen.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then of course, uh, moving on from that, of course, then we see a lot of new people in here. We get the old faces back. Filming began in April 2015, wrapped on August 2015. So they filmed in various different places. Some were including London, Nevada, uh, at the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, Singapore's Marina Bay Sands. But due to availability of regional filming, producers decided to shoot the film largely in New Mexico. And the state offers a 25% movie tax credit. So,
Ta-da! That'd be why. Yeah, I know. That
yeah,
had to stand in for,
yeah,
like, Area 51 is actually in
yeah,
Nevada. It's not in New Mexico, but that
yeah,
happens a lot. And then they're running around in the salt flats, which are
yeah,
that I assume the ones in Utah, although they could have been in the heck Mojave Desert, but I think they probably used Utah. And that was supposed to be quote unquote outside of Area 51.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, Utah's not. Well, it is.
Hmm.
Technically, it is, but
Yeah.
it's not that
Well,
close.
yeah, we'll talk about how there's a lot more information about what they did. There sounds like there's a lot of political considerations on a lot of the destruction and stuff. But it really was a cool movie with the visual effects.
I don't know. The
Yes,
CGI got messy.
you didn't like them. All
When
right,
well, yeah, that's okay. Well, we don't
yeah,
all
we have
agree.
time.
We're not a hive mind
No, we're not.
like like the aliens.
Yeah, no, exactly. Let's talk about box office real quick. Then we'll go through the
Hmm. Hmm.
plot. Actually, let's do the plot first. Let's go through the plot real
Oh,
quick,
I
and
thought you
then
did
we'll
the
go.
plot.
Not really, not all of it.
Okay, I'll shush. I'll
No,
shush.
I'm kind of. I appreciate you keeping me focused because I'm kind of squirreling tonight. You guys in the chat rock. Thank y'all for helping with the squirreling. So I'm actually going to flag some of these comments here so we can
Yeah,
come
flag
back
some
to
of the
it.
comments because they're very
Yeah,
good.
because I do want to come back to them, and I'm glad y'all excited about this one
Hmm.
tonight.
Hmm.
Because I tell you, I really want to see what people thought with this one. Like you said
Okay, okay.
earlier,
I want to
20.
say one other thing. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay, guys, if you do not agree with us and you absolutely love this movie, go ahead and say it. We are not an echo chamber, and nobody's going to jump on you.
or if you hate them,
Everybody's allowed.
or if you hate
Or
the
if
movie,
you hate the movie and or
yeah,
you didn't like the first one, you can. I mean, it's all
yeah,
good here.
yeah. Hey, there's a guy named Liam Greywolf over on the Twitch side. Hey, Liam.
Oh,
Hello.
who's that? Who's that? Who's Liam Greywolf? Do I
I
know
don't.
him?
I don't
Do,
know. You're.
do I have to make sure and pay attention that he
Well,
doesn't do something
well,
not
you have
okay in
this.
our
You
chat?
you have the sword. You have the sword over on that side. Yeah.
That's true. I
Yep.
do.
Yes, you do. All right. So
uh,
20 years later, humans have reverse engineered, and we've got all these big bad weapons now based on alien technology. We have restored peace among nations to a rare extent due to the victory over the aliens' attack. They established Area 51 as its headquarters. The Earth Defense Force sets up based on the Moon, Mars, and Ray, which is a moon of Saturn. Also
mhm.
has orbital defense satellites above the Earth as fortifications against future invasions. As Daisy had mentioned, we see the UN going out under Director Levinson to go out into the African desert to meet with one of the warlords who was known for being very successful hunting down the aliens and stuff like that. Uh, so it was also revealed as we see the movie that people that had made certain connections with the aliens in the first movie, like President Whitmore, Dr. Brackish Oaken, and Ubuntu, people, they once made mental contact. Well, it actually linked them to the collective consciousness of the aliens. We see them periodically going crazy through the movie at different times. Oh, hey, Brogu, welcome.
Hi, Brogu.
There you go. Hey, Brogu, how are you tonight? Good to see you.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
I guess, yeah, the battle of the
We're
emotes.
The emotes are going on. Yes.
Yeah, come in peace. All right. So we get, of course, we get the drama up front. The hotshot young guy that's the president's daughter, fiance there. His buddy. They almost have a wreck on the moon with the big weapon. He disobeys orders. He gets it set. We know who our guy of this
You
movie
mean
is.
not Thor?
Not Thor. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is
I'm
him.
sorry, it's not Thor.
Well, at least we didn't get Fat Thor in this one.
God.
So, yeah, but he gets confined to quarters, and he's there. He knows Levinson. We have that flight tug with her. Then we get our first ominous things. This is another one of the critiques I have. We said last time with Independence Day, it was like boom right at the beginning. It got started. It hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
This movie took 40 minutes to get anything suspenseful.
Mm-hmm.
The intro was intriguing with the satellite call, all that, but then it was like all this backstage human interest crap. For it, just I did not like this one, and that it took so long to get going.
Yeah. I don't think it needed to. I realized they were trying to introduce a new crew, these the younger people and all of that, but it just was like, can you do that? See, in the first one, we didn't know who David was, and we didn't know who Captain Hiller was, and we got the aliens. Here they are, and we got Captain Hiller. And we got what is her name? It's not Jessica. Vanessa? Jasmine. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. Jasmine and her son, and we got, the president and where his wife was and where his daughter was. We got all of that while the aliens were there, and we were trying to make nice with them and all that, and they blew the helicopters out of the sky. This one, it was, let's just talk and let's just keep introducing people. And it was, can we get on with where are the aliens?
It's like they were trying to describe what had happened in 20 years.
Yeah. You needed to show,
like,
not tell. It was.
Yeah. Well, what we have is the first thing that comes up. First sense of drama is we see some dust coming up. They talked about Saturn, how the base at Saturn had disappeared, and you can see the particles getting drawn to a force. Well, we see that on the moon coming up to the base. We see that, and well, then all of a sudden we get a big white ball.
The orb.
Yeah. And so everybody's sitting there trying to figure out what to do. So of course, Madam Cowboy President agrees with the other members that were aggressive, not overriding Levinson, and shot it, destroyed it, knocked it down into one of the
because that's what you should do when an alien orb that's not doing anything. Well, it is sucking dirt off the moon, but yeah, instead of saying hello, you should shoot it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth. Bang.
That's a lot different than when Will Smith said it first. Welcome to Earth.
True, but he was being shot at.
I know exactly. Yeah. This is like welcome to Earth.
Shoot at anybody.
Well, this one's welcome to Earth. We'll shoot you first. So
welcome to the moon. We shoot you.
Exactly. Yeah, shooting without asking. But I could see. I could understand the temptation to want to shoot, but also you kind of want to study sometimes, especially, that wasn't the only defense weapon they had. They had the satellites around the Earth, that if they had attacked first.
This didn't look like the same sort of ship either.
And that's what
to automatically assume it's the same aliens.
Well,
and
Levinson was trying to say this is not them. So, and we found out more, like Steve says, towards the end. Oh yeah, it does. Those with the suction things, where the rings are gone and the stuff. It is a wormhole. Yes, they consider that a wormhole. So
Okay.
I didn't even know that, but apparently it was a wormhole. So you know, Levinson and Morrison, again, Jake, we'll call him Jake, in
Yeah.
here. They go, of course, the warlord, Marceau, which there was the implied relationship with Marceau and Levinson. So, hey, we didn't have to hear about his his not so care about you wife from the first movie this time. So, but
That's true.
I know that was a semblance
Did
of
she
annoyance last
disappear
time.
too, right? I don't
She
think we saw
disappeared
her.
quietly. Then I mean, she didn't get her
She
picture up
she
on
didn't
the
even get
wall.
shot down in an airplane or something.
Yeah,
She just disappeared.
yeah. Military always over trumps science in every movie. Yes,
Yep.
yeah. Oh man. So, but basically, yes, we got that. So then they think, hey, we did it. Well, not soon after that, we get the next day is the 20-year celebration, all on Earth. Everybody's happy in there, and then all of a sudden, the big mothership's coming. Uh, it does. It decided, and again, what was really crazy with this one is that we see that it's crashing over the moon. And you remember how we talked about the first movie, just that side of the moon, and then just all of a sudden the shadow, it just appears from
Mhm.
nowhere. This time it was
Mhm.
kind of like it just was almost overpowering. And then we find out it's got its own gravity. Like that's like
Yes, which
where did that come from? I mean, we knew it
might
had
mess a
shield.
few things up.
Well, of course, then my point is that why we find that the moon laser is ineffective against the shields. It's like, well,
Yep.
why bother? And the thing is, if this is the drilling ship too, why the hell do they need a mothership? Because this thing had cannons all around. It had multiple cannons, not just the one primary weapon from underneath. Because it took out the moon base, took out all the Asian Pacific satellites really easily with that. So,
Yep.
um, so of
And then
course,
all it did was cool laser into the ocean.
yeah, yeah, of course,
Well, it did
then
it did cause a bunch of that's so when London was getting destroyed, that's what I meant by that was a CGI mess.
yeah,
They're flying through there and it's a mess.
yeah, and we didn't get much Vivica Fox. It was like, nope, she dropped out the bed. But how the hell do you get from a stripper to a doctor in 20 years?
I mean, you can, but that's not I wouldn't have done it that way. She could have gone to college because she said, "Hey, I'm taking care of my son, and I do live in Las Vegas, and exotic dancers can make quite a bit of money." But
But how do you get to be a
why was it
doctor?
so important to make her a doctor? Couldn't you have had her have, a PhD and been a social worker or any number of other things she could have, and you still could have said she went to college. And so I think the only reason they made her a doctor is so she'd have to airlift the patients off the top of the roof so they could kill her.
I I don't know. I never
I
got that.
mean, it was like this is a set piece and we want to
No,
show the destruction.
no, buddy. No, no. Online doctorate within 20 years. Yeah.
Well,
Uh, yeah, the
you
mothership
can
should have
go to
destroyed that
college
moon.
and be a doctor in 20 years. I get it, but it just was like and then all they did was kill her because they wanted the set piece
Why did we
of
need another
of
person? At least they didn't bring Levinson's wife back. Why bring somebody back to just
yeah.
because she did nothing in the movie except check on the pregnant
And
woman
then
and fall off a
right.
roof. Yeah.
And then the idea was, okay, that would be very upsetting to her son
Mhm.
because he
Yeah.
couldn't save her. But the way the actor was directed, there was like one line, I couldn't save her, and that was it. Bunk, and I'm over it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
It
yeah.
didn't work for me.
I know it didn't. And buddy, yeah, why would they think weapons based on alien tech would work on said aliens or not think the aliens wouldn't be able to easily deflect them? I was amazed by the firepower this time on the aliens because
What
that ship had all these mini cannons all around it because they targeted every one of those defense satellites. I mean,
Well,
they had
they
enough
had
guns.
20 years. The thing is, okay, so we had 20 years to take the tech that we harvested from them and put it into our ships. and all of that. Why did no one think, you know what? They were already ahead of us. And
Hmm.
we still haven't entirely caught up to where they were, and they've had 20 years to get better too.
Right.
I mean, we did have the
Yeah.
big laser on the moon, but that
Yeah.
that went bye-bye really
All I can do
quick.
is all it can be used is to shoot the cue ball. But anyway,
Yep.
the alien mothership was 3,000 kilometers in diameter. It responds suddenly. It comes out of nowhere pretty much quick. As you say, it takes up the whole Atlantic. We see the tsunamis. We see everything. We see the destruction all along the east coast. And of course, it drills to the molten core. As we find out as they investigate and interrogate one of the aliens that they had. See, I did not realize that the aliens had landed on Earth and there was actually ground war. Because, the way the first Independence Day ended, it seemed like, well, they didn't get to land any ships. They just all magically blew up when the mothership died. But it was interesting to see that they did this. They had the prison facility, which, like the first movie, you remember we had the alien Roswell ship and it was
Mm-hmm.
doing nothing. Then all of a sudden, when the aliens got close, it came alive and stuff.
Well,
Uh,
all the
and
bodies
that happened
woke
with all
up.
the prisoner aliens here.
Yeah.
They got.
They seem to have gotten woken up at the same time
Mhm.
as the former president and Dr. Data.
Okay, yeah, and of course, Doctor Oaken could understand them. He's like, no, they're
Oakham.
not. They're not screaming. They're celebrating.
Yeah, they're celebrating.
Yeah, they knew what was coming. So of course, Whitmore goes in there to interrogate one. He gets to have him. It nearly kills him, but he survives. And basically, I don't understand the point of interrogation. All that they really got out of it is it freaked out when it saw the symbol. That was pretty much it. We really didn't get much information. I
I
didn't think.
know. And they were trying to wedge another. I assume if they had had the third movie, they would have gone a little bit more into, because the whole orb thing is a separate thing going on.
And hail Rod Thunderheart. Let me just say hi to Rod. How are you tonight?
Hello,
Yay.
welcome in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They were trying to cram things in, like the ship that they were with the warlord, that they were, you know, they had deciphered some of their language, and they had this ship that they were studying and stuff, and that was like a whole
Hmm.
separate plot. And then they had the orb, and then they had the other aliens, the original aliens, and it was like, there's too much going on in this movie,
Yeah. A
which
lot of
is
moving
actually
parts. Yeah.
25 minutes shorter. It's only 2 hours.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it's another alien, which is interesting because the cue ball that came in is this I call it cue ball, but
Yeah.
its mission is to evacuate survivors to a planet of refugees from other worlds targeted by aliens, and she calls the
Yep.
aliens harvesters. This being has all this intelligence and technology to be able to defeat the weapons, but they don't exist. Their plan doesn't exist anymore. Uh, but they're trying to get all these survivors to come together to beat these harvesters. See, I don't like the hive mentality with this.
No,
I
I don't
like that
either.
more that they were users and basically just going around scavenging and everything else. But it was interesting. This technology, this higher intelligence came to warn us to evacuate people as it could. Uh, then found out we have the ability to fight. We did pretty good. Uh, really, really, the queen was looking for this because it was a threat. They hid it in the isolation chamber and kind of they hide the signal from it while Oaken got some information. They tried to nuke. They actually successfully nuked the queen's little detachable ship in a shield bubble. Whitmore sacrificed himself
Yeah,
to do
that
that,
upset me.
and yeah, but then again, well, what? How? Okay, how did that upset you?
Okay, so he's willing
It's
to
okay.
sac. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's okay. We just thanks for being here tonight.
We We had to rewatch it because I didn't remember most of it.
Steve, and I've started a number of comments. We're going to come back to some comments like this in a few minutes.
Yeah,
So
because I did discuss
I
that.
have not skipped all of these. I am kind
Yeah,
of keeping.
yeah, you have
Yeah,
them
yeah,
starred.
yeah. But this one
So
upset you with his sacrifice.
well, okay. So in the first movie, the president is so integral to the plot, and he gives that rousing speech that's what everybody remembers from the first movie
Mm-hmm.
is that speech, and then he actually flies in one of the F-18s, and he's involved in this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have him. Now, I understand he'd have PTSD because millions of people
Yep.
died and stuff. But then you have him have this psychic link to the aliens
Yeah.
and kind of act like he's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets his act together and says, "Okay, I'm going to sacrifice myself." And then
Right.
he didn't kill the queen. And I'm like, "Why would you do that? Just don't have him do that."
Well, well, let me say, Rod, stay around. We're going to talk about our thoughts of it. Folks, I like to know whether y'all liked it, didn't like it, and everything. We're kind of making smart alecky comments because we're just having fun, but it does not necessarily mean we do or do not like it. But hey, I liked hearing that. Rod liked it. If others liked it,
That's
Randy Quaid
fine.
saved the world. That's not right. Max Redstone. That was the first one, but we're going to
Yep.
talk about the second one also. No, Newt Houston. What did Houston ever do to you?
I know. I'm going, no, because Galveston's gone now too, and I love
Oh no,
Galveston.
you do. Basically, well, the thing is, we got this was unexpected, but I guess we should have seen it a mile coming. You know, like in the first movie, the alien fighters had shields. Well, the Queen had her own shield herself, not just a battle suit. She comes fully equipped with a shield. Don Pardo.
Woohoo!
I'm
And she's
like,
a
yeah,
bazillion stories high.
yeah, exactly. But apparently, she had to lower her shield to fire her blaster because she was damn effective, knocking out quite a few of the fighters. But President Whitmore's daughter makes a critical hit on her to deactivate her shield. After that, Dylan's party rides in and they kill her before she can take the sphere. Of course, she does get a hold of the sphere and then takes a few dying steps and then rolls the ball out like a cue
Rolls
ball
the
on the
ball
table.
out.
That's like with the tongue hanging out. It reminded me of the death of a dinosaur in Jurassic Park, uh, but a lot of green
Well,
goo
yeah.
everywhere.
And
So pretty,
there's
pretty,
Star Trek ships that have to lower their shields to fire
yeah,
or they have to decloak or some weird. I can't. I, I'm sorry. I'm a good Star Trek fan, but my brain's not focused
yeah,
on that. But it was like, yeah, okay,
yeah.
whatever.
Well, and that leads us to the end of the battle. All the remaining. See, I.
Yep.
Again, an inconsistency from the first. The queen's gone, so the fighters all are rendered inactive.
Yeah.
You know, I
Because
mean,
it's a hive
we
now.
because at the end of the first one, we saw them still fighting and continuing. We got alien prisoners for 20 years, and so and then what gets me is the mothership driller retreats into space. Why didn't they pull theirs out of Africa 20 years ago? Why send a distress call?
Well, why the big one that's very very close to achieving its goal of
Yeah,
getting our core? Why did it leave? Like you said, it was armored to the teeth and
yeah,
it was huge. It
yeah.
could have just kept drilling and gotten, I think it was the core they were after,
Yep.
and taken it with them and gone, yeah, see ya. Why would they just leave?
Well, and of course, the sphere talks to Oaken and asks humanity to lead her resistance in preparation for the counterattack on the Harvester's homeworld, which would have been, I guess, the last movie of all of them.
Yeah.
But hey, as Max says, the aliens had energy shields, but not McAfee antivirus.
That was the first movie. We
Buddy,
gave it a
but
gold.
Buddy is always thinking about those practical, taking care of your needs right there. So, drill, baby, drill. uh, so that's pretty much the whole. Not over.
Yeah.
While you get your notes, and we can go where you want to. Really, this. It, when I was out of town years ago, and I had access to this movie every day because it played on a cable channel, it really sat with me. I really kind of liked it, but watching it again for the first time the other day, I was not as satisfied with it. I mean, is it I'm not remember my ratings and all right now, but it was like it hit me differently. It didn't hit me as enjoyable as the first time that I saw it. And maybe the first time I was just saying, "Hey, we got this," but then now this time I say, "Oh, that makes no sense," or "That makes no sense," and it did not. It seemed a bit disjointed. Like I said, 40 minutes when I watched it the second time the other day. It was about 40 minutes in before you really had something take off, unlike the
Yeah.
first movie.
My husband and I did see it because, as I say, we were quite excited. We knew very
Mhm.
little about it except that Will Smith wasn't going to be in it. But it did have a lot of the original actors, and we liked the first movie. I mean, yeah, it's got plot holes. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
You gave it a cold. But it was a really funny movie, and then it was serious. I mean, the president's wife dies, and as I said last month when we did the first one, that hit me pretty hard.
Mhm.
That whole, and I knew it was going to happen. I mean, I rewatched it this time. When we were in the theater, we were
Mhm.
just like, what happened? What is this mess that you've had 20 years and this is the movie you put out? Okay.
Oh my gosh! You know who you sound like?
Uh-oh, who?
You sound like Anthony Daniels when they asked him about the last Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker,
Oh God,
and
yes.
they all said the interviewer said, "Give us your reaction, make a face,"
The
and he's like,
face he made, he goes, why?
like his palms raised, like, and he did say, after 40 years, this is what we got.
Yeah. After 20 years, this is what you
Yeah,
had. I mean, I realized they weren't working on it for 20 years, but you had the idea since 2000, 2001, somewhere in there.
yeah,
You
and
kind of knew the first movie was successful. You had all this time, and this is what you did with it. I'm
and
sorry.
I will say, Earth did a good job reverse engineering all that alien
I
technology to
know in
get
20 years, all of
in
a
20
sudden, all the
years.
ships are different. And
Yeah, that's
yeah, like that would happen.
well, it would have to be certain companies and stuff, not politicians would not
Well,
get that
no, and
effective.
we were
But yeah, it
still
was like
we
20
were
years.
still individual planet. I mean,
Well, look at the
on the
choppers
planet,
though.
there's all these countries are gonna
Yeah,
get the alien tech and do their
yeah,
own thing.
yeah.
I mean, we
But it was
still don't
nice.
get along with each
But
other.
we all came together in the movie
Oh
of
yeah,
love
of
last
course
time.
we
I thought that
did.
one. Today is our Independence Day, and that's a
Well,
world. It's the world. Remember, it's the world quote. We're all
right, and that cool. But then as soon as the
Max
aliens are
Redstone.
gone, would have expected reverse engineering.
Beast Wars, dinosaurs, and freaking laser beams. That sounds like something Stunning would say, Max. Yes, that's awesome.
That might have worked better. Who knows?
Yeah,
You could have gone to Jurassic World and they had those dinosaurs they were training to be
yeah,
like in the military. Yeah, could have done
yeah.
that.
Well, Liam Hemsworth played Jake Morrison, our hotshot young lead
Not
in this, huh?
not Thor.
Not Thor, and not Fat Thor either. So, of
Not
course,
any Thor.
no. We got Mike Makeup Monroe, who played Patricia Whitmore. Bill Portman was returned as President Whitmore. Jeff Goldblum, again, David Levinson. Selah Ward was President Lanford. Uh, Patrick Saint Esprit was the Secretary of Defense. Tanner, I remember him. I've seen him in other things. I liked him, but he. But see, I think they tried to make him like Nimziki in the
Yeah.
first, but he didn't have. I don't know. Like when the joke was, "Did he hang up on me?" And General's like, "Yeah, he sure did," or sounds like it to me. I just I don't know. It just he didn't work like Nimziki did for me in the first one.
Yeah. Some of the actors didn't quite.
Well, it's
It's
almost like
hard
they
to
forced the
say.
bad character there. It's like they had to force that jerk in there because he was always on Levinson. Tell Levinson to be here. He was screening Levinson from the president. All this other stuff. It's like
Yeah. It I don't know whether it, it's seldom just like the script. It's the directing. It's all kinds of things, and then some of the actors fell very flat for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an actress, but sometimes I'm thinking I could do better than that. I think,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Well, William Fichtner played General Adams, who eventually elevated to president when everybody's taken out at Cheyenne Mountain. But I
Mm-hmm.
like him. I recognized him in other from other roles. I thought he
Mm-hmm.
was really good. I liked him in this movie, and everything I've seen him in, he's been good in. Um,
It had a lot of good actors. I mean, I'm not saying they
so
were all bad. It had many
no,
very good actors.
um, so I will
I
show.
the
And if
whole
y'all
thing
don't
they
know
did.
who, yeah, if you don't know who I'm talking about, hold on a
Yeah, go
second.
ahead.
I'm trying to stop a clip from playing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all right. But this is him right here. There you go. He played General Adams in this one.
Yeah,
So
he's
you
a
may
really good actor. He's in lots
very
of
good
things.
actor. I really liked
Yes.
him in this. So
Mm-hmm.
where was Godzilla? Not here. We could have used Godzilla.
Yeah, and Rodan and
Oh,
Mothra.
speaking of that though, folks, a little tease for coming up the next 3 months. Next month, Daisy and I are going to be talking about Battleship.
Mm-hmm.
You want aliens and creepy things like that, aliens, and then if you want your kaiju, that is
Yep.
probably Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim 2 in January and February. So, hey. Oh, hello, Ryland Harris. Who's my friend here, Daisy Blossom? Daisy Blossom is a great friend. We have actually met in real life once. And Daisy, you want to say anything about yourself to Ryland?
Oh, well, I'm not right now. We've taken a break, but I'm actually a co-host streamer on a Twitch channel with my son, Liam Greywolf, and Dadman and I met each other on an entirely different stream um, during Fortnite,
Yep.
which I don't actually play, but I watch other people play. And
Yes.
then so we became online friends, and we have actually, as he said, met in real life. So
Mhm.
we've
Yay.
seen one another in real life without the avatars. And
Scary
he asked
sight
me
for
to help
you.
him with this show. So we've been doing this for quite a
Absolutely.
while at the
Yeah,
movies.
I got to figure out when we started this. It's probably been at least a year then, I think.
Oh, it's got to have been.
Because
And
we did Terminator, we did things like
yeah,
that.
we did 3 of the Terminator movies, I think. 2 or 3
Yeah,
of
well, we
them.
did all three in one night,
Oh,
though. I think.
and
Yeah,
one night.
yeah,
Yeah, that in the beginning we were trying to do the movies all like and their sequels, and that got a bit overwhelming. So we decided to do them one at a time. We've
yeah.
done maintain your calm, enhance your calm,
Oh, yes. The movie that
the
foretold 2020 before 2020. Yes.
pre shells. What do we do with
Demolition
the pre
Man.
shells?
Yeah,
Demolition Man. Yep, we've done that.
we've done it. Wow, it looks like we've got at least 12 movies out
That
here.
that makes sense.
So I mean, we've
Yeah.
done the well, but see, probably more because see, we did uh, Raiders separate from Temple of Doom, from Last Crusade. Uh, we were supposed to do Naked Gun at one point, but we didn't get to it. We did Terminators, we did Wrath of Khan, some Star Trek, Ghostbusters. Yeah, so hey, so that's he missed the
Yeah.
Shermanator. Sun Tzu says, "Man who lives Kriegsmarine should not review naval movies." Or well, it's more. Well, hey, I have every right to review that one when you can take the USS Missouri at flank speed, throw the damn anchor in the water, and do a
so
180.
so for those of you who don't know, my husband was in the Navy. And Battleship is actually a guilty pleasure, but I'm going, you could take that old battleship out of, being a museum piece and then speed it across the water and drop the anchor. And my husband's going, no,
No,
no.
there's some things when you've worked with in real life you just can't suspend
That one
belief.
was hard, but I did. The movie is a guilty pleasure because there's a lot of it, but some of it you're going, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yes. All right, well, back to this. We know the great Star Trek Brent Spiner played Dr. Brackish Oaken in this one again.
Mhm.
Vivica A. Fox had her few minutes of glory and then fell
Then
off a building.
fell
So,
off a building.
yep, Sailor Ward was the president. Is there any particular character that you liked in this movie
Well,
that really stood
I
out to you?
still I did okay. So from the first movie, I have a big soft spot for David's character, who's Jeff Goldblum, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Julius Levinson, his father, who's Judd Hirsch, and then I don't have the actor's name. I'm sorry, but President Whitmore, of course, because of his rousing speech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, you know, I liked these characters so much in the first movie, and then in this one, I don't know. They felt disrespected. Is the best way for me to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I've already said about President Whitmore, I can understand the PTSD, but then you have him psychically linked, and the people, his daughter and the other people taking care of him are like, yes, yes, Mr. President, like you've lost your mind, dude. And and then he, as I said, he gets his act together and he's gonna blow the queen up, and then he failed, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's, you didn't have to do that. And Jeff Goldblum's character David had been kind of, the outsider, geeky scientist who figures out that there's a signal and then how to kill them. And in this one, he it almost like it wasn't quite the same character that he was
Yeah.
playing, even though it was. And poor his dad, Julius, his his boat gets tsunamied.
Oh yeah.
then then he's,
Well,
stuck to the side of his boat, and this old car full of just being driven by this teenage girl and her
yeah.
and her family. They get in it and they're in New
Whose parents
York.
left
They're
them for
right
Florida.
for Florida, and they're in New York, and so then they're driving the car, and then they find this busload of kids whose driver ran away and abandoned them. Then they get in the bus, and all of a sudden, from New York, in a ratty old car and then a school bus, they show up at Area 51.
I was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
relate
I'm
that, but
sorry.
yeah,
Did they
yeah.
did they like go through a wormhole to travel?
No, he just drove 2 miles an hour, like you said, to conserve
Yeah,
gas. You know.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And,
You know.
why did you do that to him? I mean, he was very good, and the kids
Yeah.
were. It was
I
cute,
I
but
agree.
it
There
was.
was
Why
there was
would you disrespect them
there
this
was
way?
there was just not. I think there were a couple. There was no real character that just jumped out at me that I loved in this movie, unlike the first one. There were none of those iconic movie. I think they tried several times with that big rally speech, like the one time in the hangar with everybody.
Yeah.
We united people 20 years ago. Well, that one didn't go anywhere. And then there was another one later in the movie that was still kind of like. But I
Well, he
did like
was.
that Whitmore. I did like that Whitmore was going to sacrifice, like he said.
Yes.
You younger
Yes.
people have got to pick up the pieces,
Right.
and
And that
somebody
was
was going to have to do
fantastic.
that. Yeah,
But then you
but
had him fail. That, I'm sorry.
he
You
only
know.
fell because the Queen had the shield.
Oh, I know. I
Which
understand.
which here's the thing is which I did unless the Queen had the shield active inside her ship there on how the heck does I mean magically Patricia he shoots her when she's trying to shoot at manages shields down has a key shot. Well, he had a friggin' nuclear weapon inside a shield bubble, and just,
Well, and the nuclear weapons didn't work in the first movie. They nuked, as we said, they nuked Houston, and it did nothing.
yeah,
20 years later, and this is their queen in her ship, and they
yes,
and they managed to nuke that ship.
yeah,
I I
I know.
mm,
But you know what I
okay.
do love? You know what I do love? I think it's fun.
Hmm.
Is this chat out here tonight?
I know.
His guilty pleasures, the movie Under Siege. Hey, you don't
Okay.
know, have you and Mister
Yeah,
watched that one before?
you don't mess with the cook.
Yes.
I don't use swear words, but
Right.
yes, that is we also love that movie.
Oh, cool. Okay, he's okay with that one. Okay, good. We got that. Bill Pullman, Whitmore. Oh wait, let's see. Lone Star as Whitmore. Exactly. That's what I always thought of. Oh yeah, and I remember the president's wife always asked that question, and she answered exotic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
Max could have been on something. This could have been a maker for this movie. Sequel would have benefited from an Alf cameo.
Oh, except I'm a cat. Of course
Was
I am a
there
link,
was,
so
but
I'm a bigger cat than he's
there
probably
was
after.
an Alf cameo in the original though on the TV, I believe.
Yeah, they had
So
lots of things playing in the background
yeah,
on the
yeah,
TVs during the first movie, and they didn't
mm,
do that this time.
yeah. Well, nobody really jumped out at me as a great character in this.
No.
I just
And
and it turned
the new ones were they were
and none
trying, and I get it, but none of them. I mean, I keep joking that he's not Thor, but it's not that any of them were particularly awful
and they weren't
actors.
annoying, and they weren't
They
annoying either. Like the girl, like the teenage girl in
the
the those
president's
Godzilla
daughter.
movie. Well, the
Yeah.
Godzilla movie, that Bobby Brown or the Millie Brown
Oh,
chick.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like Mrs. and
Well,
I
yeah,
sitting there
she's
watching.
younger.
Mrs. and I were sitting there watching that movie, saying, "Please eat her, please eat her, please eat the humans, or step on it." So
Well, and these were supposed to be,
yeah,
in their mid-20s, so a bit older
yeah,
than the Millie Bobby Brown character. But so they
yeah,
weren't outwardly completely annoying, but they didn't
yeah.
stand out
Yes.
either. They were very interchangeable
I
almost.
and I think that's probably why they did not lead towards a new movie, because it was it left you feeling flat, and I mean it was good. We're going to give our ratings about it, but it really didn't have that ending like the first one where it's like triumphant. We're going to go, and it's just kind of like it just kind of ended. It just, and like you said, you didn't make those connections like we did in the first movie, so you're kind of before we start to wrap up in a little bit and talk about what we think about two movies, folks, if y'all have other comments about this movie, please, now's the time. If you want to comment back to the first Independence Day, you do that. Daisy, you got any other notes?
Well, I was going to say
Mm-hmm.
on the tone of the two. Um the 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 first one was more triumphant, the world comes together. um it- it's hard for me to say. The first one was much more of a positive for me. The
Mm-hmm.
characters working together, they were different personalities, but you got to just fall in love with these people, and yeah, I'm behind you 100%. Whereas the second one, you didn't get the everyman like the president himself. In the
Mm-hmm.
first one, Whitmore was like the everyman president. You know, you could really understand what was going through his mind and why he was making these decisions.
Right.
You Captain Hiller was just a fighter jet pilot like any other one, maybe slightly better than, but these were just everyday people. Whereas in this one, it didn't have the same feel
Right.
at all. And at the ending, it just felt like, yeah, you're trying to set up another movie. And we walked out of the movie theater going, and you are not going to get another movie.
I would have loved to have another movie. I really would, because I love this whole concept. I love the visuals. I love all that stuff, but it just
Yeah,
kind
when
of
they went on the ship, it was interesting because they were saying, like they're
is it
growing
is
things or
this
whatever.
is this could this be a case where this movie brought too many people in? It
Yeah,
made it too big. I mean, there was not enough oxygen in the room for as many
yeah,
people.
yeah. And I realized what they were trying to do because, to some extent, although they also did it very badly, Star Wars was trying to take these are the original characters, and we're gonna then introduce you to all these new ones, and they just let the OG cast in this movie, they let them all down, and then they tried to introduce you to too many other people, and you had two different sets of aliens and you didn't explain them very well. How do we actually know that the orb whose planet was destroyed, and that's the consciousness of all those aliens and all that, isn't leading us into a trap with whoever the heck she has on her planet or his planet?
Yeah.
I mean, it was too much going on. If it was, it would have been way too expensive to be a TV show.
Yeah.
But if it was a TV show type thing and you had 22 episodes, you could do what they were trying to do. But this is a 2-hour movie.
Which was not as
And
long as the first one. Yeah, you
the
can't
first
remember.
one,
2 hours, 25 minutes.
2
The
hours
first
and
one.
25 minutes. And I
Yeah.
liked the first one.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, with this one, it doesn't start with the aliens. It starts with 40 minutes of introducing people and
Exposition.
catching us up with people. And that's
Julius
kind
wrote a book. And Julius was estranged from his son again. It's like,
yeah.
here we go again.
Yeah, they reset characters too. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like it when they do that.
Yep.
It's
I
yeah.
know. It's
Anyway,
I did like the warlord, the Congolese warlord.
he was
That guy
kind of
was
interesting. We
that was
didn't get
good.
enough of him,
Right.
and
You gotta
for
kill him. You kill him from behind.
you kill him from behind. Yep, and then
Yeah.
the comic relief of having the people on the ship. I think they were Russian. I'm not sure. They were drinking like vodka or something.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
trying. They were what do you call it? Not pirates. They go
Scavengers.
down
They were
scrappers.
shipwreck
Yeah,
divers. Yeah.
they find shipwreck divers, and they found this shipwreck that had some old gold in it, and they were very excited. And then they're the only ship that doesn't get hit by the tsunami, and they're out there monitoring. And that would have been there was just too much going on.
Yeah. I did like this scene though when they're all drunk because they're like, oh,
Yes.
we're had,
Yeah.
we're screwed, we're gonna die anyway. We're gonna drink and have some laughs. And it was
Yep.
like when the guy comes down, hey, look, what, and it's the U.S. government, and the what blah blah, and then it's like, well, we're the only ship in the area. They want us to keep an eye on it, and the captain's like, sure, and they pay $100 million, and they're all drinking, laughing, and
Yeah,
the guy
laughing.
the guy's looks like. They said
yes.
it's a deal. I was like, gosh.
Two things. If I was the guys, two things. One, lots of coffee, and two, man, we should have asked for more money.
I know. The accountant in me came out. I'm like, I saw 8 guys at that point, so
Yeah, I
$100
know.
million, like $12 million each. I'm like, you did too? I'm like, dang, I want $50 million each, maybe $400 million.
I know, yeah.
At that point, I mean, oh my gosh, even Dr. Evil renegotiated. He said $1 million. And when everybody laughed, okay, $1 billion, that got attention. But anyway. All right, folks, let's have your thoughts. We're going to tell you in a minute what we think with this movie overall. I want to go back. Daisy, I'm going to pull some of these comments I've started while we can comment on. Make sure you've covered all the notes that you want to cover.
I will say one more thing. So Roland Emmerich is quite infamous in the types of movies he makes. And I found this quote, his movies are voyeuristic destruction. So people like to go see his movies because we want to watch destruction.
Oh, okay. I guess that describes me. I'm serious.
Every explosions.
No. Every damn time Day After Tomorrow comes on, I'm watching that stuff for that New York scene when everything freezes. Well, when the flood comes, the flood comes in and everybody's running to the library, or when everything goes super cold, I'm watching those scenes. It's just,
Yep. That's voyeuristic destruction. That's what
I don't know if I should be proud of that or not, but
I don't know. But I'm like, but he's very, because last time I was trying to pinpoint, Roland Emmerich has a very specific, when you see one of his movies, you don't even need to know that it's his and you'll figure it out.
That's kind of like
Michael Bay.
Yeah. Because Simply Steve just mentioned Michael Bay. Yep.
Yeah. So Michael Bay and specific types of explosions that he does. And Emmerich is world-ending, catastrophic things where we have giant tsunamis and we have huge earthquakes and there's total destruction of cities. So yeah, his last, I didn't see his last movie. His last movie was Moonfall, which is just
Oh, I saw that one. I actually like Moonfall.
no good for you. I'm thinking you, it's kind of like the same thing with telling me that this ship is the size of the Atlantic Ocean. My brain goes, you cannot have the moon that close to the earth. I just no.
I know, but I have the ability to turn my brain off at times.
No, good for I see. I don't. This my I will give you a lot of things in sci-fi because I am a huge sci-fi fan. I will give you a lot of things, but there comes a point where my science part of the science fiction goes, yeah, no,
I
no,
think
you've gone too far.
I think I need professional help. I think I have that voyeuristic destruction addiction.
You and a lot of other people, because these movies do sometimes make a great deal of money.
Well, like this, Steve saying day after tomorrow, LA gets tornadoed. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And I think
yes.
it's not just one tornado. There's like 4 or
Like
5. It
or
can't
10
just
or
be
something. It was
well, yeah, it
ridiculous.
can't just be one. I mean, geez, everybody does that.
Yeah. Mother Nature has declared war on Earth. Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
so keep looking at your notes. We'll cover it. Let's see, Buddy Hepburn. I hope you're still around. I know Steve is still around. Oh, yeah, there you go. Buddy is around. Maximum Pew Pew. Okay, let's take a look at these. Buddy says earlier, the thing that was odd was Pullman and others having the contact flashes. I can see Oaken since he was mind linked by the alien in the first film, but not Pullman until this movie. But wasn't he mind linked to the alien in the first one when they did the interrogation? When Oaken, they talked through Oaken, and he saw the alien's thoughts. And that's where we got the description, though, that they were like locusts. They travel world to world. I've said that about people in real life, YouTubers and all kinds of other stuff, and fake people. It's like they go from place to place and place, and it's just sucking every. It's an inside joke, Daisy, but it's like
yes,
it's one of those things. I know. Sorry, I'm squirreling, but he made that point. I would have, and I engaged and I enjoyed that concept of these aliens. Seeing now it switched to a hive mind. I didn't like it. Like I like the locusts that destroyed everything.
Yeah,
because that would be more of an environmental movie. If you wanted to make Emmerich has done that with World Day After Tomorrow and other movies. You want to do the environmental movie. That would be the type of bad guys you want. Ones that come and just use and consume and throw away.
Well, yeah, and they were said to communicate telepathically. So that is why President Whitmore could hear the thoughts without having, like when Oakham he's the voice for him. They have the tentacle wrapped around his neck and they're using him. They're mentally telling him what to say. Whereas Whitmore just sort of, they spewed it into his brain.
Yeah.
We want you to die. And now it was, they're a hive mind. They're bees instead of locusts. And weird.
All right. Well, Steve says the mothership spanning across the pond would have caused orbital problems too. All that mass on one side of the planet.
Correct. Yeah, it would have shifted all kinds of things. They did show destruction. Okay, they destroyed like London and they destroyed New York, but
because what had happened
way more than that.
But what had happened is because that mothership in this one had its own gravity, it was picking up all the stuff in Asia because it knocked out the Asian defense satellites, and as it entered the atmosphere, it was picking all that up in Asia. And what we saw, the destruction in Europe, was not Europe coming up in the thing, was all the debris they carried from Asia dropping into Europe. One thing that I've read, though, is they were careful because of some events that have happened in the world. They didn't want to drop certain things from certain places on certain places in Europe.
Correct.
But basically, I didn't realize that till I read that was kind of like that they had picked it up and dropped it on the other side of the planet. And
that wasn't entirely clear because, as I say, it was kind of a brownish CGI mess. And Jeff Goldblum says they like to take out the landmarks, and that was funny, but it was just such a visual mess to me that it wasn't obvious that that's what they had done.
Right. I think it got too cluttered for me. There was so
Yeah,
much
it was too
debris,
cluttered.
it got too
Hmm.
cluttered for me. So all I knew, I'd feel sorry for those poor people getting sucked up in the air like that.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Are you
that was, and
are
then
you in the
dropped.
are you in that tug space tug, and you're having to see all that stuff up there? So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, Steve did say the president did get mentally contacted before they shot the windows. Yeah. Uh, Now, Buddy said, and I do, making the Queen 3 to 4 stories tall was an odd choice.
Yeah, that did seem odd considering how I guess if you're going to make a drone society, then the queen bee is bigger, but she's not that much bigger than the
Yeah,
drones because we'd
right.
seen the drones.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
They were
Even in Aliens, the Queen was not that much larger. I mean, not like this.
Well, it
This was like
depends
a
on which
Johnson.
movie you're watching. I think in one of them she gets pretty big, but
Oh, great.
not in
Okay.
Aliens, not in the second one.
No, that's the one I gauge everything by in Aliens. But
Yeah.
oh, that might be a franchise that we need to look at.
Depends on how many of them you want to watch.
No, no, no. We stop at 2.
Oh,
We
good.
stop
Thank
at
you.
2. No, no, no. Dear gosh. Mrs. and I just saw, I wanted to do a review of the last one that came out with the Mrs. And I was looking forward to it because I saw a preview
Oh,
and
Romulus?
I saw an interview with the old guy and stuff. I was excited and I got in and I was like, oh, that's from 3, that's from 1, that's from 2.
Uh-huh,
It
uh-huh.
was, anyway, but hey, no, I won't get started on that one.
I didn't go see Romulus. I went, no, no,
Now, a
no,
couple
thank
people.
you.
Wow, we got 13 people. Hey, make sure you hit that like button, say hi, share it out
Ye-
while we're going. We're getting close to the point of saying what we think. But Steve said he thought it was a good sequel, problems and all. I get
That's good. That's
that's
fine.
good. Yeah. But he said hey, watch all the cheap knockoff sci films, so this wasn't unwatchable.
Yeah,
But
I see when you're a
mhm.
sci-fi fan, I've sat through they're not even B grade movies. They're further down the
well,
alphabet.
well,
So I have seen some really bad
you're
movies.
the science person, you're the teacher and stuff. Because apparently Steve was really having a problem with the physics of the mothership.
The physics were
Fanning the
terrible.
Atlantic, not causing a wobble towards the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, the whole as I said, I get it. It's science fiction, okay? And fiction is make believe, and that's fine. But if you've totally messed up the science,
Yeah.
I don't care what your fiction story is. My brain is going, you can't do that.
Hey, Balzette. Good to see you,
Yeah, she
Balzette.
didn't get an
Well,
alert. Hello,
no,
Bowsette.
Balzette. Sorry, man. That's yeah. Thank you, YouTube, doing it again. YouTube, Twitter,
Yeah.
everything else. But yeah. Oh, but hey, you can always go back watch more. We're not done yet. We still got a bit to go. Feel free, Balzette. What? Tell us what you think about the movies. And Balzette makes a point here about science fiction does not mean completely ditching science.
Yeah,
I
it
think that's
doesn't.
well, yeah, because I can understand. Because I mean, Steve is really stuck on this wobble or having the atmosphere inside. How does that work?
I know. It's just the whole. I mean,
No,
the other ships in the first movie were quite large. I mean, it wasn't like they were dinky little ships covering cities, but
yeah,
it was. And here's the other thing if it's a reasonably good movie, if you have good directing, you have good actors, they're pouring their heart into it, you can overlook a few scientific wobbles.
mhm.
But if the movie is already not your thing and then they totally mess with the science, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know, I know. Buddy said it was somewhat like Robotech and Macross Alien Tech and the Mospedia Invid for the aliens. Okay, all right. Of course, Steve is like me with a goofy ending. Why was Earth considered to lead any kind of resistance?
Correct. Like, I don't know. We
I
didn't have
know.
enough tech.
Yeah, I like that. Gilly
I'm
under
not sure
Steve's.
why. I'm not sure why the ball wasn't upset with us either. It was like, okay, but I was here to help you and you shot me. I think
Yep,
you'd be a little more upset.
yep. First, more stakes sequel and over the top, outrageously ridiculous effects. Yes, this one. See that whole thing with it, what comes up must go down. That I didn't. The effects were too busy or something with me. That's what I love
Hmm.
with the '96 because it was groundbreaking to me. Like I said that last time, that movie for me was like the sci-fi movies for the black and whites, the '50s and '60s for people before me. '96 was my movie that I've always wanted to see. I loved it. I could see all the effects. I could see just it was
Well,
beautiful. This one I couldn't make sense with all the garbage jumbled up in the sky and it crashed down. It just
part of the
I did
problem
it was
is
overwhelming, I think.
the first one had practical effects where they had, miniatures and bigatures, and they were blowing up actual things to put in the movie, as well as special effects, obviously, some of which didn't age quite so well, but it's over
Yeah.
20 years old now. This one was a CGI mess a lot of the time.
Mm.
Some of it was okay.
All right.
Like when I'm so sorry. I'm
No, go ahead.
insulting the poor guy, and I'm going, not Thor. When not Thor had those ships that he was working on in the beginning with the
Yeah.
arms that stuck out, those looked like they would have been the original alien ships. And, you know, so the gravity on the moon is less, and you can kind of go, okay, he might have been able to push that up. Some of that was cool, but they just went nuts with the CGI, and I couldn't figure out who was doing what to whom at what time.
Yeah. I understand that. It just was too much for me. But
Yeah.
all right. Well, we got that. Let's see, Kang and
Yeah, you're
Kodos
going
from
through
The Simpsons. Yep. Add them from The
you're
Simpsons.
going through the starred ones, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is the last of the Star Wars. Brainbug and
Okay.
Starship Troopers and the Formix. I'm not familiar with ending Ender's Game, but I remember the
Oh
Brainbug and
yeah,
Starship
Ender's
Troopers.
Game. That's an intense movie. That's an intense sci-fi movie. It's not as I
Hmm.
haven't read all of the books and stuff I think that it comes from, and they said the movie didn't do justice at all
Right.
to the whole concept, which is, I would imagine, quite involved. But that is quite a movie. Yeah.
Max is saying it sounds like this sequel should make him look forward to the next Hills Cop sequel. Hey, look, I love Beverly Hills Cop 3. I'm going to fight everybody on that, but it's I tell you
Hey,
what,
we all have our thing.
if you ever get a chance to go to anything NASA related, just the buildings are huge. And we were at the Huntsville Space U.S. Space and Rockets. We actually got to see a whole life size Saturn V rocket laid
Oh,
out.
and they're amazing.
It's
I saw it
amazing.
at
The
the
remnants of
Johnson
Skylab.
Space Center in Houston, and you just keep
Yeah,
walking and just
yeah,
looking at the engines, looking
yes.
at how big those
Oh,
things are is amazing.
it is amazing. Yeah, the missus and I are going to try to do a stream on that at some point when things slow down and we can get organized with the pictures and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely something to do. Um, let's see. Yeah, exactly. About that, the numerous new sci-fi stories being read on YouTube where the mess with us is a center point. Aliens show up, think they're going to walk over humanity. It doesn't happen. You know. Um,
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
lot of movies like that. I
exactly.
Some of that is good, and some of it depends on, you do have to, from a scientific perspective, if an alien race can come across the galaxy and get here, their technology is just going to appear to be magic to us because it will be so
Yeah.
far ahead of us.
It's
But it is cool. I mean, even in the War of the Worlds, is that the one
yeah,
where the aliens actually get sick
yeah,
because they don't, their immune system can't deal with, which makes a lot of sense, can't
yeah.
deal with human illnesses. So I mean, there are ways to take on the aliens which are quite believable.
See, I actually think that was a weakness. That's why I like the Independence Day and even this one. We actually can fight back. We stand toe to toe with them. It wasn't like War of the Worlds where they kick over, because of the environment.
You like pew
Or,
pew, I get it, I
I
get
know.
it.
Thank you, Buddy Hepburn. I don't care. What park was that? Was that actually shot at the park for where? Wow, he only watched Beverly Hills Cop 3 to see our amusement park for how it was back then. Oh, sounds like many changes. I'm sorry. I love Beverly Hills Cop 3. I liked it better than the original and the second one. I know. But anyway, I will stand up there.
I'd see the third one.
Oh, what you say? Okay, that's cool. Do that. I like that. Oh, California's Great America. Oh, it wasn't Wally World. Wally. No. Wally
Oh
World's
yeah, Great
Vacation.
America. I've
Yeah.
been to Great America multiple times.
Oh yeah. I love when Eddie Murphy came out with Okie Dokie Shuffle, and the kid was giving him a hard time, so he pushed the one kid in the fountain, the other one, and then the little brother sitting there laughing at his brother, and the kid's like in the water, like, "Mom, Grandma, he pushed me," and Grandma, the look on Grandma's face, uh-oh. That's got to run. I loved it. Anyway. Oh boy. So folks, that is I think what we all hear. Daisy, do you have any other notes you want to cover before we talk about what we think about the two movies overall?
I think we went through the characters and stuff. So I
Yeah.
think, which is what most of my notes were about, the characters
Right.
and those kinds of things.
Characters can
And then
make or
just
break movies, though, and this
Oh,
may be the
yeah.
one. This may be the one because I agree with you that the character development in this was different. The relatability to the characters, even some from the first movie that we liked, was different in this one.
Yeah, very.
Whitmore was not the same inspirational as in the first. He was different. Yes, he was jaded. There was something different with David Levinson in this one than
Yes.
the first one. He was
Yes.
not as comedic or light. He was so dark. This,
Yeah,
even in the first, he
and it
could
was
laugh.
kind of pointless wandering around, not being like the science guy. I mean,
Right.
he wasn't. It just wasn't. He wasn't the same character.
No. All right. Well, Daisy, tell me what your thoughts are overall with this one. You can use letter grade, whatever format you want to do, like we do on these movies as we've done,
Yes.
as we usually do.
So in the past, as I'm a former teacher, I tend to give letter grades. So for the first movie, I would give it 85%, a strong B. It was really good fun. The characters played well together, because teachers, little kids, you want them to play well together. They played off each other, and you were very connected to them and the story. This one, I'm going to give it a 55% to D-.
Wow.
I couldn't, the characters that I remember didn't seem to be the same.
Right.
I mean, I know people change in 20 years. That's not what I'm saying, but it was too much of a change and no explanation as to what was going on. The CGI thing was a mess. I didn't really connect to the new characters. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me.
Okay. Well, folks, feel free to put out in the chat what y'all thought about this movie overall. I would say, obviously, the first one was 4.5 out of 5 stars. Nothing that will ever be a perfect movie, but Independence Day was just what I wanted. It always wanted. Bang, bang, pew, pew. Had actual real equipment, real fighting. It was, even though the virus concept was a little bit far-fetched, but at least it was something plausible. The characters, the humor in it. It was Randy Quaid, of course, like Max mentioned.
Yes.
Up yours, and all the other stuff we did. We took a tragic character, and yet we could relate to him, and he was still funny.
Yes.
And we had he was the hero.
Yeah, he was doing it to tell my children I love them very much.
I really loved it. I would say 4.5 out of 5 popcorn buckets, which is probably about a 90%, which is a low A. This one, if you asked me a couple years ago when I was watching it all the time, before I really sat down and thought about it critically, I would have probably said a B. But I think this one, I see 3 out of 5 is 60%, which is not necessarily a good average, but it's
enough.
Well, I try to think of 60% as more than half. So at least it's a more than a filled tub of popcorn, more than a half-filled tub of popcorn. So it's not bad, but you want more, you want better. I'd probably put this one right in the middle at 2.5 like right at
Okay.
50%, because I just even the tech fails to me in this one. Yeah, we got the tech and all this stuff, but it's like it really didn't do much for us in a lot of cases. We
No, it
still
didn't.
we still ended up having to. Well, I mean, it did finally take the Queen's shield down, but it just, and then you're promised by this cue ball coming to Earth that they were going to help you do something. I don't know. I, I could see why they stopped and didn't make the third movie after this one.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But of course, this could be a type of movie that really. What if Will Smith had signed? What if Will Smith and the writing, we got a different story?
Yeah, I'm sure they had a different.
They did.
A
They developed
different
two
script.
scripts. Yeah. They
Yeah,
developed
they
two
had more than
scripts.
one, and so I would wonder what that script would have been like. And
Couldn't have been worse than this one.
well, no, that's true.
No. No. Well, let's take a look. We got a couple people out in the chat that have a grade. So, folks, feel free, please. We'd love to have you. I might have to watch this movie. We might have to do this one time just to see if I can. I just love that.
You can do it anytime you want. Yes.
Well, hopefully we can get. Do you have something against theme parks?
No, I just Beverly Hills Cop is not my thing. It's not the theme park. I love theme parks. I've been to all, including Great America.
Yeah,
I've been to lots of theme parks.
I know. I think that was. I think he was funny without having to be raunchy. It was probably the cleanest of the three Beverly Hills Cop movie, but I just laughed. Maybe when I watched it, I really needed a laugh very bad, but.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know.
We all like different things. That's why they make so many movies.
I know. Well, Steve says, Simply Steve was really excited, I think, last time with Independence Day. He was really looking forward to this one. ID4B and IDR Resurgence, a C-. So, all right. And Buddy Hepburn also says C- is about right for him. Interesting.
Yeah, you guys could use whatever. You don't have to use letter grades. You can use popcorn buckets. You can use the star system too.
Yeah, you can do alien ships. So.
Yeah, alien ships. I was thinking about that too, and I was trying to figure out which alien ships I would use.
That said there was one alien movie that was kind of a clone of Independence Day, but with time travel and this weird floating alien orb. Very strange, but a decent premise. That's the thing is sometimes some of these are the better ones. I tell you what, sometimes the clones and the fan films are made are good. I tell you,
true.
The best Star Wars I've seen in the last 10 years have been fan films.
Some of them are
and
so
actually,
creative.
Guess what, Daisy? There's one where I like Darth Maul in it.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait, now I've seen one recently. I can't think of what it is. I think it had Darth Maul in it. They were kind of in a forest.
Yeah. And
it was like one Jedi. Yeah, I think I've seen it. I liked that one.
He was being trained by Palpatine or by Sidious.
Oh no, that's a different one then. That's
well, there were a bunch of Jedi.
So many.
There were Jedi that came there, and he basically dispatched all of them. And then Sidious said it's time come to Coruscant.
Nice.
They were going to reveal to the Jedi. But it was plausible. The Jedi were out of contact. Something happened. They couldn't transmit. They were on the planet, and it was a training episode for him. It was. Yeah. And I tell you, it was better the lightsaber fighting than Rise of Skywalker. And definitely that throne room scene in Last Jedi. Oh gosh. Oh man. So Buddy had seen Getting Even with Dad, Macaulay Culkin, Ted Danson for the same reason. Great America. That's cool.
Well, Great America was for a time. It was Paramount Great America. So this I don't know whether the movies he's saying were Paramount, but Paramount actually owned the park for a while.
Oh, okay.
And then the county. So it's Santa Clara County owned it. I don't know whether they still do.
Okay. Well, Balzac gave part one, gave Independence Day a B+, but does not want to watch the second. That's okay. What's important, you're here hanging out tonight. Thank you, Balzac, for that. So Steve has no half-star emojis, LOL. Now, Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars. Is that
I've
where you like
seen
Maul in them? Yeah.
I've seen Clone Wars. I've seen bits and bobs of Rebels, but I didn't watch it.
There are two different Clone Wars. There's really the Disney and Lucas Clone Wars. There's also one that was back, and Buddy can remind me. It's like a Russian
Oh,
sounding name that was really a harsh, hard art. It was a much different art style.
yes, I remember that one too.
Mhm.
I haven't seen all of that one, but I have seen parts of that one. I liked that one.
Yeah,
There,
yeah.
not all of the Clone Wars, the other one, the Disney-ish one. I didn't like all of it, but
Hmm.
I did when it first came out. We watched it as a family, so
Hmm.
Liam and Mister and I all watched it
Yeah,
together.
well, that the first Clone Wars one was it did not go far. There were not many episodes, and they had this other
No, that's
character other
true.
than Grievous. But it was, I thought it was a lot better. I thought it was more towards the lore than yeah, Tartakovsky.
That's it,
Yep,
Tartakovsky. Yep, yep, yep.
2003. Yep, exactly.
I didn't get to see all of that one, but what I did see, I liked. I really liked that one
Yep.
better.
All right, well, folks, that is our show for the night. Daisy, any other last thoughts before we close this movie?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, all right. Well, we're
On
gonna
to the
go.
next one.
Yay. So next month, remember, it will be on the second Tuesday of the month. It'll be the 10th of December. We will be talking, well, tell them about what we'll be talking about, Daisy.
We will be talking about the movie Battleship.
You sunk my battleship.
You sunk my battleship. We used to play that. Not the we didn't have the real one. We used
Uh
to draw we used to draw the grid and just put a little barrier between us.
huh. Yeah.
And then you just say what on the grid, and then you'd mark it off and then say if they
Yeah.
struck one of your ships and stuff.
Well, I hated. I always lost that stupid game, so I kept moving my ships as much as possible.
See, when you play on paper, you can't do that.
Well, see, I finally figured out I needed to put the white pegs in all the holes down below on the bottom part, so I knew where I could move the ships to or not.
Yeah,
But
see, I didn't play the one that was the actual game with the ships and the pegs and stuff. We didn't have the game. So we just played it. We made
home
our own grids and did it
Stu says,
ourselves.
"Awesome, a homemade battleship." Yeah,
Yep, we made homemade battleship.
that's cool.
You
All right,
figured
well,
out how many squares you needed to make the different sizes of the ships, and yeah.
yay. All right, folks. Well, remember, once a month, Daisy and I do this next month. It'll be on the 10th of December, 8 p.m. our normal time on a Tuesday night. There'll be also a stream next month on the 20th of December. Wow, that's only 5 days before Christmas. That we're gonna have a Christmas stream with Daisy and the Missus. So that will be fun next month. So we'll get double dose of Daisy next month. So you two should play the Steam version of Battleship. We can figure that out, or I could see if the Missus has it because Missus has Steam also.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Oh, what we'd have to do is we'd have to stream it on both channels because that's the thing is with the Steam games, people can only see it off of whoever's streaming. And I
Yeah,
imagine
there's
people.
a way to kind of do
Yeah.
the dual screens, but it's complicated.
No, I know what I do. I just sit here and I just put my phone on her channel, watch it, and say,
Yeah,
I know where her ship's.
stream snipe her.
Yeah, I
That's
do.
a no-no.
Oh, the
No.
Missus does have Steam Battleship. Missus, you've heard the request from
Cool.
Balzette out there. We'll try to make that happen. I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I didn't say anything. Anyway.
I heard him too, Mrs. I heard him too.
All right. So, are you and Liam planning on? Are y'all streaming again after the first of the year, or what y'all's?
Probably after the first of the year, but we haven't nailed that down.
All right. Well, when you have
So
more
I'll let
details,
everybody know when
yeah,
we go back
absolutely.
to doing that.
Love to hear that. All right. So tomorrow night, as if I feel like it, it's been a really weird few months, and but tomorrow night I plan on trying to talk SEC football at 8 p.m. tomorrow. The graphics will not be what they usually are because I've just been busy being out of town, work, mom, all kinds of crazy stuff has been going on. So join me tomorrow night at 8 o'clock as I talk SEC football and hear me rant a time or two because I tell you what, we Gators are stuck with our crappy ass coach now because they said, oh, he's not that bad. But I'm like, yeah, he sucks. He's bad. Anyway, I don't cheat. No. Daisy, what are you doing saying that? Oh, geez.
I'm answering Mrs. I heard what you said.
No, I
I'm a
wasn't cheating.
fellow streamer on
I
Twitch.
was,
That's
I
called
was,
stream sniping.
I was just, no, I'm doing gathering intelligence.
No, that's called cheating.
I'm modding her channel.
Cheating.
All
I'll
right.
mod her channel.
All right. Well, listen, Friday night, I'm going to try to go live on a Friday night again at 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit different formats than before. We'll see what this goes. Hope to roll this out. Again, last week I was going to try it, but got tired. I got back into town at 8 o'clock at night, and things happen. It gets to Corey Cochran. Hey, Corey.
Hello.
Good to see you, too. And I love Buddy there, though.
Yes. He's also like smart enough. I'm staying out of this.
Yep. I know. So, and also Sunday coming up next Sunday, we will we'll be having. Oh, you forgot to say hi a while ago. I know it happens. Well, thanks for being here and hanging out. Everybody, make sure y'all hit that like button though before we quit. One other stream we do have coming up that's scheduled now. Last night I did my first Fortnite stream in a while. I burned out on the last season. Really was too many superpowers. Missa took me around. Love the new season of Fortnite. I hope to do some more random streams and some random Fortnite soon. So I like the old maps. It brought back old memories. And so, oh, Corey, you've been here an hour. Cool.
Oh, good.
Did you ever see this movie, Corey, or did you have any thoughts on it? If you don't, that's okay. Just glad you're hanging out with us. But hey, we got Canadians in this audience. We got Americans. This month is our American Thanksgiving, the end the last Thursday in the month, and last month the Canadians had Thanksgiving. Well, guess what? I'm having a Canadian on Sunday at 6 p.m. for Mountain, the great R.M. Briggs. We'll be talking turkey. We'll be talking Thanksgiving, what we eat here in America, what they have in Canada, and traditions and things that go along with it. We've had a lot of fun. Raquel and I have talked 3 hours about food and stuff before, so who knows what will happen with this one. But hope y'all can do it.
Food is a good topic.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So food is always a good thing. So I hope to see y'all at any of these. And also remember to support the missus every morning, Monday to Friday, weekdays, 8 at 10 p.m. for morning musings with Mrs. Dadman. Today's Tuesday, so Thursday she'll be puttering at 5 p.m. in Lego Fortnite. So just be sure to support her as you can. Corey said, I got it. It's bad, but not too bad. Just dumb fun. So just don't think about anything. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Like Daisy, you mentioned Moonfall. I like Moonfall. Everybody was trashing it. Other streamers were trashing and stuff. And I just, okay. I liked it. It just, I can't explain it.
Like it. That's fine.
I can't. It just happens. So yes, exactly. That's what we always do. And we say is, hey, like you said earlier, no echo chamber. You like it, feel free to say it. And if you don't, then feel free to say it too. So as the missus says, thank you for the thank you for the shout outs. You're welcome, missus. Thank you for all the shout outs you do for us. As Daisy says, thank you for joining us tonight. And Bowsette says, bye for now, guys. And yes, you guys are the best.
Chat.
You guys,
I'm sorry.
I know you chats out there. The cats are our chat. So, and thank you, Buddy Hepburn. Here's where it is. Morning Musings, Block Parties on YouTube, and she's on Twitch also. So go give her a follow over on Twitch. Subscribe to her channel if you haven't now. She's trying to get to 500 on YouTube. 234 away.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's get there. And just celebrated her first streaming anniversary. So
yep.
Oh God! Oh, Moonfall is like The Rock, San Andreas, fun dumb movie. San Andreas was another one with The Rock. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did.
2012 is awesome with John Cusack.
Okay, I preferred 2012 to San Andreas.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about all these kind of movies that we can do coming up. I like disaster movie things.
Disaster. We're gonna go to all of 2025 is gonna be disaster movies.
That might be fun. I love the way you think. I love the way you think. You're planning ahead for the full year. That's awesome, Daisy. And as Buddy puts out there, help the missus out. Like she said today, we have tried other alternatives to StreamYard. StreamYard just jumped from $20 to $45 this month.
Ugh, yuck.
StreamYard, if you see, Mrs. has tried other options, was going to pay for them at like $20, but they're not usable. They're not functional. Yeah. And if you do like the way all her graphics she makes, my graphics, she makes. All that's time and investment. And so, folks, if you consider helping out, donate to her Ko-fi. If anything, to help us fund the StreamYard thing. Um, she would like to get monetized on YouTube. She can. She is on Twitch. You can subscribe to her Twitch channel. But yeah, if you feel free to send a donation to help us out to defray the cost of StreamYard, because Miss Daisy, she tried. I told her about it. She bought the test period for this one stream, and it doesn't look right. The size
Yeah.
of the avatars are not right. And her graphics, folks. She does not. She gives it her all and spends lots of times on the graphics. She
Yes.
wants you guys to have the best. I've actually had things before when I'm like, it's close enough, it's okay, don't worry about it. She's like, no, it's going to drive me crazy. I got to get it right. Well, that's her dedication to my channel and her own channel, and to you guys out there, that you get the very best that we have to offer. So, oh gosh, I didn't see Skyscraper, but yeah, I like San Andreas. I like 2012, especially with Woody Harrelson.
I did see Skyscraper. Oh yeah,
Was that a Sylvester Stallone one?
No, that was The Rock too.
Oh, that was The Rock. Oh, okay, I knew it was one of them. Corey said San Andreas has Alexandra Daddario in it, so it wins. LOL. And B from O, thank you for listening in. And like I said earlier, happy birthday to B from O Jr. Hopefully y'all had a great day, and he's had a great day. In that, I agree with you, buddy. I don't like Woody Harrelson in most things. I liked him though in 2012. The one thing I could not stand him in, though, it's just wrong. It's blasphemy. It's not quite okay. What? He just can't pull off a Chester Nimitz, Admiral Chester Nimitz from World War II in Midway, the movie Midway.
Oh, I did see Midway. I don't remember him being in it.
Well, listen, that's a movie we could dissect, because there's way too much CGI in that thing, and anti-aircraft
I don't remember it though.
Well, one of the things that I heard about that movie too was that one of the historians that I follow, and it's the great Mr. Martin Muses, as I'm about to wrap up and actually talking a little bit of history. How are you, Teresa? Hope you're doing well tonight. He had a good day, got a PS5, been playing some Fortnite. Awesome. I bet he loves that. But like what I understand from this one historian is that who went around meeting these World War II veterans, it was one of the, I'm drawing a blank on the pilot's name, that they actually, Best, I think was his last name. He saw one of the Akagi getting away. He took grabbed two of his wingmen, because their dives got spoiled because everybody was going after the Kaga. Well, he got two pilots, and they went around and they hit the Akagi. But the point the historian was making, this guy was just a professional pilot, serious guy. But the movie made him to be some like New Jersey cowboy, chewing gum, talking, and I was like, and it was a bad mischaracterization in the movie they had with it. So that's why I'm always interested with these movies. Woody Harrelson was serious in the role for Nimitz. I just didn't get the feel. It just didn't work for me. It's like, to me, like some people have that look, like George C. Scott and Patton. I can't even visualize the real Patton, because I think of George C. Scott when I think of Patton.
So do I.
It's just one of those things. Well, I'm sorry, I will never like Alec Baldwin as Jimmy Doolittle. And a lot of it gets into personal stuff, not political, but a lot of personal stuff and a lot of his ramblings. It's one of those things that the guy said enough crap that I like. It's like, how dare you play a true American hero? Yes, a dad man ran opinion tonight. It's the way it is. I do.
Well, tell you, sometimes it is difficult to separate the actor from the role.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be done, and other times it's your own personal preference, and the actor's just gone too far, and you can't separate it from them anymore. So yeah, it happens. Yeah. We're all humans,
No, I just it was like, and plus also Jimmy Doolittle and them, they flew out here in West Florida off the bases at near Fort Walton Beach. The runways are out there. You can't. I
Mhm.
wish that they would let the public go out there, because those are the actual runways they built to the size of a flat top of American aircraft carriers in, because they had to practice running those bombers off those flight decks.
Yeah,
Eh,
they only had that distance, and if you
Those
went,
those
yeah,
those runways still exist out there, but they're marked off because it's still an active Air Force base. So,
well, that makes
oh,
sense.
hell to Phantom Outsider. How are you tonight? Good to see you
Hello.
too. All right. So, Max Redstone, which sequel? Buddy said, you probably hate Raise the Titanic. It's dumb, but I liked it. What
I've seen that movie.
is it a movie or a documentary?
It's a movie about raising the Titanic. They can't actually raise the Titanic. It's in two pieces.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, well, anyway, okay.
I think in the movie, if I remember correctly, it's in one piece.
Oh, wow.
So they raise it.
Wow, that'd be almost impossible from that depth, the pressures and everything, you
No,
know.
yeah, I it's another one of those you can't get hung up on the science. You just watch the
Yeah.
movie.
I wish the polar bear was here when I talked a little bit of history. Nobody, two people you want around is Teresa, Miss Martin Muses, and Storm Poops Cooper when you get into history.
Well,
They know
yeah,
their
I'm a
history stuff.
cat. I can still say we're humans.
Yeah.
We act like humans. Some of us kitty cats act like humans. Not
I will.
always.
I will have to. I will have to. I will have to look at the 1980 movie. I'll have to look at that. And yeah, Max, my comments about Baldwin goes well before anything he did in recent years. It just,
Yeah.
it's like it's just like, it's just, you know. Oh, Buddy said it was done before they knew the true fate of the ship.
Yes, because they didn't know it was in two pieces
Mm.
in 80. I think they found it in 85.
Yeah,
I
85 or
think.
86.
I think it was 85 when they finally found it. And then they went, "Oh, it's in two pieces."
Yeah.
Which is what several of the survivors did say. It broke in half and then, you know, but they're survivors and it's at night and it's all these terrible things happening. So yeah, I can understand why they said no, it went down in one piece. But yeah, I do remember that movie. It is a check your brain at the door movie. You can't get hung up on the fact that it's over 2 miles down and it's a big huge ship and how would you
Yeah.
yeah.
It was 1985, about 13,000 feet down below.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was 85.
Hold on a second. Just stay there. I'm doing. My computer's doing
What?
some independent renegade virus
Uh-oh.
scan on it. So
Uh-oh.
it's an antivirus. Shut up. There you go. All right. Bob Ballard's team found 1985. See, listen. This is a topic that I would love to have some time. Because I tell you, there was the Battle of the Philippine Sea. It might have been Surigao Strait, because where the Taffies, the escort carriers, were protected by a bunch of destroyer escorts, and they were facing Japanese battleships and cruisers and stuff. And these destroyers, they finally found the USS Johnston, and there was another one. That were like the deepest wrecks ever found. Deepest shipwreck is the USS Johnston, and it was found at, let's see, in 1984. They were going against some serious battleships and cruisers. I think the Musashi was in this one, or the Yamato was. Uh, let's see.
Because they were in the
Let's see.
Pacific.
In the Pacific, yeah.
Parts of the Pacific are deeper
Mm-hmm.
than the Atlantic.
Oh yeah, because this was near that trench.
Mariana
Mm-hmm.
Trench, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah. So this one is Battle of Samar. That's, I'm trying to find the depth where they found this one.
Hmm.
This one.
I think the cover story for them in 85 looking for the Titanic, the cover story was they were looking for two
Yep.
submarines, American submarines.
Mm-hmm.
I think was because they didn't, for some reason, they didn't want everybody to know where the Titanic was. I can kind of understand that because people would go down there and start bringing stuff up and doing. I mean, it's a graveyard. It should be left be as it is, you know.
Yeah. But this depth was, I'm trying to see. It's the Johnston had the. Of course, I can't find it in this article where it's like it's done all this dramatic stuff to because let's see, because they
Corey
did it
says
was
the
the Philippine
USS
Trench.
Samuel B. Roberts is.
Yes, okay, yes, Samuel B. Roberts. They found the Johnston first, but then they found the Samuel B. Roberts after that at that depth. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. And if you look at the stories of what happened, I mean, they fell down into the bottoms of those trenches, which, we're going to talk about Pacific Rim and trenches and stuff like that coming up. But I mean, really, it's just amazing. You know,
Well, the
just
Pacific is
we can't even
is
fathom that.
yeah. I grew up in Northern California and went out to the beach, and just standing on a beach and looking out at what the part of the Pacific you can see, and the waves and the sound is just, it's a huge ocean.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, let's see. Because at one point the Johnston was the deepest, then they found the Samuel Roberts, and I encourage anybody to go read about that battle and to see what the captains of those ships did. I talk about we just celebrated Veterans Day. Some of these captains went down with the ships fighting to the very end, and if you know anything about destroyers, destroyer escorts, they're not built to stand fight gun battles against cruisers and battleships. So, like I
Yeah,
said,
I
go
get a
ahead.
little confused with the size. So sometimes I'll say, "Oh, this is a destroyer, that's a battleship," and my husband will correct me because I get some of the sizes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he was on a ship that's called an unwrap ship, so
Mm-hmm.
in essence, it sort of serviced the other ships, the weapons and this kind of stuff. So, so I got to go on his ship. He was no longer in the Navy, but I got to go on his ship. And I did have an uncle who was in the U.S. Navy, and I
Let,
can't remember whether it was a battleship or a destroyer. I think it was a destroyer because that one's bigger, right? Which one is bigger, the battleship or the
the
destroyer?
battleship, the battleship
Okay,
that would be
then
the
he was on
Missouri.
the then he was on a battleship
Mm-hmm.
that I got to go on when he was in the Navy.
Yeah.
I was a kid then, because that was I'm old. That was a long time ago.
Well, let's
So it
put
would
it
have been
this
in the
way:
it would have been in the 60s or
the
70s.
destroyers and destroyer escorts really are not as well built because the Yamato fired armor-piercing ammunition from her main guns, which were some of the largest ever. The shells went through the Johnston, didn't explode. They just, uh, just it was crazy because there was nothing to hit. It just went through it. So, like I said, plenty of stories with this, and to look the story about the Taffy, uh, the Taffy Task Force right there. Taffy 1, Taffy 2, Taffy 3. Just an amazing story. So, and it just, I don't know, maybe one day I can do a show like this, about history and getting the good stuff like that.
Oh, hang on
Pacific
one
Rim.
sec.
Yep.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Pacific
Pacific
Rim.
Rim's
Yeah,
awesome. Uprising, not so much.
buddy,
But
we're
hey,
doing those in January and February.
exactly. Yeah.
And
Phantom Titanic's only 12. Go ahead, Daisy. Sorry.
no, it's going to go down one. Max
Uh,
Redstone has a song going
uh,
about James Cameron, and I was
Name is James
laughing.
Cameron, explorer of the sea. No budget too deep, no sea too deep. It's him. It's who? James Cameron. Yes. And yeah, 21-180. They found the Johnston. Then they found Samuel B. Roberts shortly thereafter. So yeah, they needed some fleet leaders. Yeah. We had the escorts too back then too, which were really, let's see. Stupid part, give it a salvage gun for a huge percentage of the take. Well, depends on what it is. But see, some of those depths, you can't get that stuff. It'll be there
No,
forever.
because the submersibles can go down, but what they can pick up and bring back up
Mhm.
is, you know, I mean, the submersibles are not tiny if you've seen any of those things launched, but they can only bring up these small amounts. I mean,
Yeah.
the things are too deep. The most important thing is when they go down there, if they have the right camera equipment, and they can take pictures of the whole ship all the way around, and then computer programs and humans can put them together, and then you have this beautiful 3D picture of the ship on there, because you can't bring up a lot of this stuff, and it can answer questions, because in the heat of war, or the fog of war, um like the Titanic, is it in one piece or two piece? Well, then you go down and you
Right.
find out it's in two pieces. And then sometimes during war, they'll say it was, it was one torpedo, it was three torpedoes, it was in the, it was in the bow, it was in the stern. And then they go down and find them. And it's not that people are trying to lie, it's just you're in the middle of a war and getting shot at. You're not totally paying attention to what's happening. You're trying to survive. So that can
Right.
be very interesting.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's see where we go. Buddy said his grandpa served on 3 different aircraft carriers.
Nice.
That's one thing I would like to get on. I'd like to go somewhere that has a aircraft carrier and go visit it.
Well, see, now, when we went out to his ship,
Mhm.
it was in San Diego. So we went on, I'm going to call it a tug. That might not have been what it was. A little ship. It looked tiny. And we went past an aircraft carrier,
Mhm.
and they're unfathomably huge, especially when you're on the water and
Mhm.
looking up at them. It's like, I I understand water displacement and all the science. My brain was just going, why does that thing not sink? It was
Yeah.
just the anchors. I'm like, one of those things falls and we're dead.
Right. I know. I know.
uh,
I mean, many ships.
so
Yeah, the Yorktown had all kinds of damage. It never sunk, and until finally one submarine, one torpedo finally took it out. But if you could see the damage, and if you like the Johnston, if you saw the damage it took, it's just amazing with some of these things how they can last. Max said Howard Hughes explorer tried to raise the lost Soviet sub from the Pacific. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I've seen
yeah,
some where they actually have been able to raise some submarines. Um,
yeah.
they
And
they're a little bit easier because they tend to be a bit smaller, and they don't have as many
yeah.
things sticking out the top, obviously,
Hmm. Well,
that
the
you can
problem,
snag your, when they have
mhm,
the the submersibles go down, they have lots of wires attached to
yeah,
them and stuff. You can't have that get snagged on whatever it is you're looking at.
yeah.
So,
I wouldn't want to be down there at that depth. It's okay. One thing if it was an unmanned, but could you
well, yeah,
imagine being down?
mostly
Yeah,
they send the unmanned ones, except
yeah.
for
But
James
gosh,
Cameron, because he
imagine.
went down. Yeah.
Like Buddy has pointed out about the Titanic is deteriorating and see a lot of damage on
Yes.
railings from submersibles running into and landing on it. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're kicking up dirt and stuff and moving the water around, because it doesn't move that much
mhm.
under, that far down. Yeah, so they're sort of messing it up,
Yeah, and
which is too
the
bad.
pressure changes are huge too. Also,
Yeah.
that's the
Mhm.
thing is I mean I've watched them recently. I have video of the Akagi and Kaga and the Yorktown at the Battle Midway, and just I mean they can see the damage. I could see the old equipment. It just fascinates. I'd just like to be able to go down there, but you never, just to see it in person. But at least if we can see video of it, at least it's something, and it confirms stories and accounts and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
And they
That's
do make
there.
3D. They make 3D models, and then, as I say, if they can get enough photographs to put together, they can sort of recreate what it
Yeah.
looks like on the bottom, which is,
Hmm.
the vast majority of the human race is not going to be able to
No.
get into some sort of submarine and go down
Nope.
there.
Nope. Because
So,
it's not it bad things can happen. It happened last year, the year before with one of those, and
yeah, well,
this is what. Yeah.
that was not made out of the right
No,
material.
that wasn't either. But still, uh, I ain't taking my chance. So I'd like to see some of them in person, but I ain't taking that kind of chance. But like Buddy also said, this is one of the reasons why for a long time, and they still I think in some cases they're slow to say exact markings and locations
Yes, yeah,
to
they
keep
don't
treasure
always tell
hunters
you.
private exploration,
Mhm.
and even some foreign governments are known to go
Correct. Yep.
into those things. I won't say which one, but there's one that
Yep.
really goes into wrecks and stuff like that. So,
Well,
um,
in the Battle of the Pacific, there were so many ships off so many different. When you think about it, so many different countries, and
mhm,
it's been so many years that those governments have changed and what they may or may not be interested in. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's tough.
No, well, who knew? We took this movie review into a talk about ships and documentaries and World War II.
All we started with is next month is on the 10th of December. We
Yeah,
are doing Battleship.
I know. I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that. Really,
Oh, I got the DVD and it has some special features on it. I have not watched it yet because
well, cool.
I was doing these two movies in the notes, but yeah,
Yeah.
and Pacific Rim also has some. So when I watch those
Okay.
two, I'll be
Cool.
able to say what's on the
That's awesome. All
I
right.
bought them all
Uh,
secondhand. I don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Corey,
Mhm.
yeah, they used some stuff they weren't supposed to. They were, yeah. So just go figure. All
Mm,
right. Well, Daisy, I know you got
yes,
dinner waiting, so thank
I
you.
do.
And everybody out there, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. And Daisy, thanks for the input. Thanks for everything. And make plans to watch us for Battleship next next month on the 10th. Join me tomorrow night as I try to talk football. And then maybe Friday if we go live on Friday night, and then Sunday at 6 for Turkey Day. So, all right, folks, on that note, everybody have, well, I guess that's a way to look at it, Corey. You won't have to know it's over fast, but I'm kind of like Phantom Outsider. In spite of my curiosity of seeing some of those ships, hours to get down there and possibly go squish. No, thank you. But
Yeah,
hey,
I'll tell you. I have to say one thing. Okay,
yeah,
I wouldn't go down. I'd go in a submarine just to see it and that kind of thing, but I wouldn't want to go down that far in the ocean. But I would go to space where where you can get sucked out into it and die. I don't know why that and actually the pressure thing would be quicker, but
hey,
I don't know.
go
See the
figure.
water. I personally don't know how to swim, and I
Yep,
think I'm just afraid of the water. So, of course, I
yep,
can't breathe in space either, unless I put
yep.
my helmet on.
All right, well, you never know. I tell you what, just we'll have to talk about submarine life one day. Oh
Hmm.
wow, Buddy said the USS Midway Museum is in San Diego. Max can see the USS Midway from his place.
Nice.
Wow.
I've been in a World War II submarine that was stationed. It's in San Francisco in the Bay. Um, Palmetto. I think it's called the Palmetto. I could be
Mm-hmm.
wrong. It's tiny.
Oh yeah, we had the
I mean,
USS
it's tiny.
we had the USS Drum over in Mobile, where the USS Alabama is a museum ship, and yeah,
Hmm.
you and just think, it's not comfort. I'm sure these new modern submarines are long, wider, longer.
What
There's probably
have you
more
ever
room in
seen the
them.
movie Das Boot?
Oh, Papanito, but he says,
Papanito. Thank you. Thank you. I'm
uh,
terrible with names. I'm so sorry, guys.
no,
Yeah, I've
Miss.
been inside that. It's so tiny. Did you see the movie Das Boot, either the American version or the German
No, I
version?
haven't. Mrs.
Oh,
has it in the
that is a
German version.
good movie. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched it in the German with subtitles, but I'm told that in that one they did a very good job with the dubbing into English. I
Mm,
have not seen that version of it though,
mm.
but that'll turn you off being on a wanting to be on a submarine. That movie is like, no, no, I'm done.
No, no. Wait till you get Wait till you're on the bottom of the ocean floor and they're depth charging you, or it
That's
starts to get
correct.
down.
They were getting depth charged. Although
Yeah.
the Hunt for Red October made that now that submarine wasn't so bad.
Well,
That was doable.
yeah. It does, and there were no ways, especially in World War II. They were just trying to develop ways to escape from a sub. They were. I mean, you had to
Yeah,
have the right equipment, the rare, and the survival rate was real low. But I mean, the
yeah.
USS Tang was one that actually American torpedoes early in the war stunk. The Tang was known. It fired its last torpedo, and it actually did a circle and blew it up and sunk the ship. If only a few, including the captain, were able to get off. It actually hit itself because
It blew
the
itself
defectives.
up.
American torpedoes were horrible, and I was like, "Geez,"
Well,
but But
Yeah.
you know,
But
the
then
key
they
was
get better. I mean, that's
yeah.
how that works.
Yeah, but it was one of the ones where, you know, and one of the injuries was somebody that they tried to use that new lung thing, but it didn't work right, and they had enough bad injuries from it coming up. So pressure's a bad thing, you know. It really, really is. So
Oh yeah.
Max said the radioactivity was great. About half the crew was actually Russian. Run silent, run deep a lot. Okay, that's a good one. So hey, maybe we could always get into one of those movies one time.
I like
All
the Hunt
right.
for Red October. Okay, we
I know I
gotta
did.
go.
I love the
I
Russian
gotta go.
national anthem in it. But hey, yes, Daisy's got to go
Oh, I
eat,
love the
folks.
Russian national anthem. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yep.
The Soviet national anthem. The
Yes.
Russian one is different now.
Thank you
I
for
don't
reminding
like
me. I
that
broke
one.
my rule. Anyway. All right. On
Yeah,
that
yeah,
note,
yeah.
folks.
I gotta go eat dinner.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.